pleasers alike. How are we doing today?
Doing good.
Doing good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wonderful.
Good, great. Good to see you're here, Skrewy. Full attention.
Am I a checker or am I a pleaser?
What
You're
are
a pleaser.
you? That is a you decision, Xeno.
I don't know.
I know I'm a pleaser.
I'm not a checker because I prefer chess. So.
Well, there you go.
There you
I
go.
like Othello.
Hi, Jessica. So,
Hello.
welcome to our show Checkpoint, the show where we discuss and discern the current events of the most recent episode of Check Please. And now that we are live, it will always be the most recent one.
Hooray.
Today
Did it.
we are discussing Check Please episode 25. I would love to welcome our members today. I am Keni, your fortunate host. I play Risen. And Foaly as my co-host today, who also plays
Hello.
Curla during our game.
Mm-hmm. Nice of you to join us. Thank you. Great to see you all.
We have Beardy, our beloved daddy DM.
Hello.
Skrewy, our rock-hard holy man Petravian.
Good morning to the West Coast.
Or good afternoon to...
Everyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone else.
Well, hey.
I mean, I was going to say good morning, but so good morning, Scrooge.
Yeah. Because Grem's actually... But it would be noon to the West Coast. It's
Look,
noon right
I woke
now.
up like 20 minutes ago.
Anyways, Grem, our robot master and beloved gnome,
Good morning, everyone.
playing Lavette McKinney-Baldwin! Woo!
Oh yeah, the Daenerys is gone now, isn't it?
It is.
Technically.
I always forget it
I mean,
anyways, so it's fine.
I feel bad because I never learned it.
Oh
You know, if you all look
I
on the
never learned
wiki,
their last name.
no! Bro, there's a wiki!
I know there's a wiki.
She introduced herself by her full name like almost every time she met somebody.
All
for,
the
like, half the
time.
first season.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, goodness.
I'm a horrible
Never-
person. What do you want me to tell you? I'm an awful person.
And last but certainly not least,
Xeno, our swamp witch swarmonger who plays Vera.
Me.
yeah.
I be here too.
So,
So,
you go ahead.
well, I was just going to say welcome again to Checkpoint, and we are going to be doing things a little bit differently from here on out. Since we are now streaming our episodes live, we don't all have to pretend that we remember what happened because we recorded the episode 6 months ago. No, we're going to get to talk about what things that happened last night, and so we're not going to be doing sort of set questions. We're going to be talking just general discussion points and seeing where the conversation leads us. But if you folks in the audience have any questions that they would like to ask, please, by all means, throw them in the chat. And that can be stuff to do with the episode or just questions about particular characters, stuff that you're not clear on, that you're just getting up to speed about. Anything you like, throw it in the chat.
True
So
that.
let's kick things off.
So, how's everyone's thoughts on our first live session? Like, our actual live session where we're all talking in real time.
It's good.
We
It was
didn't.
nuts.
We did not talk over each other too much.
That's true. It's been a long process to do that, but I think we've gotten a lot better.
That's probably
So-
the best episode, like so far that we just didn't have people doing it.
That's
Mhm.
true.
I think it went really well. I think it was a really strong episode. And yeah, in terms of the streaming format, we did a kind of a dry run last weekend.
That's
This is
true.
for the audience. But obviously that was still recorded and being released as an episode. But this was, yeah, we had only got one live session format under our belts before we leapt into the full live experience. And I think it went really well. I was excited about it.
Yeah,
There was really good energy.
Yep,
It was fantastic.
we kept on track. It was good.
I was pretty pleased as Punch, at least. Beardy, how do you feel about it being the DM and having to kind of, not exactly railroad us, but lead us in directions all the time, but within, like, a timely manner?
So, I mean, personally, I think that moving us to that live stream format has really forced me to kind of kick up the level of control I have to exercise in the game. Because normally I'm happy to let you guys just chill and do and just play amongst yourselves. Because I know that at the end of the day, we're just going to be editing it down into a cohesive story, right? But if we're going to be doing a live stream format, that really doesn't work that well. So I have to be much more on top of like where you guys are, we're moving to the next thing, where are you, move to the next thing. So to make sure that the story continues to move forward in a reasonable pace. and that we're moving toward the goal of the whole session anyway. So it's kind of meant that I've had to be a little more hands-on than I would probably typically be. But I think it worked out really well so far. For the 2 sessions we've done it like that, I think it's worked out really well both times.
Okay, awesome.
And it's a format that we'll definitely adjust to and grow into.
Yeah, there's always finagling, I feel. I think we're always going to have a little bit where we're figuring out what we need to adjust, what the lighting needs to look like, how we're presenting. And we worked really hard on the setup. I did a lot of finagling for making the interface of the show look a bit more professional. I mean, obviously Checkpoint even looks different because I was just throwing our faces on a black screen with a box for the chat, and you know, looking back on it, I'm like, look, it worked for then, but now I want us to look maybe just a skosh more professional. I think skosh is my word of the day. I keep using it.
It's like a
Awesome
dollop,
job.
but a little bit.
Yeah, it's just a skosh.
Awesome job on the layouts. The layouts look fantastic.
Thank you.
Well done. Thank
The
you.
UI is fantastic.
Yeah, I made a whole video that goes through each of our characters' stats and everything, and was able to make it work during the stream. So that was a proud daddy moment for me, where I was like, oh, my hard work looks so pretty. Look at my thing I made. Look at it.
Look at it. Look on ye works, ye mighty in despair.
I got to... Sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
I got to premiere 2 new changes, which one was Livette's appearance, where there's no longer the white hair and the shorter ears now, and I got to premiere Petravian's new armor that we really didn't get to... we won't probably get to see in the episodes that will be released eventually for a little while, but I was happy to premiere them because they took me way too long, especially Petravian's armor, because I'm really bad at drawing armor, and I'm really sorry. Angles
It's
are
gorgeous.
hard.
There's nothing to be sorry about. It's gorgeous.
Oh, it took me way too long to make it, though.
But that leads into
awesome.
an interesting point, though. We kind of covered in the recap some of the changes that had happened to the characters that necessitated those changes in art. But obviously, when you're compressing episodes 11 to 24 and all that happened in these 4 or 5 hour episodes into 4 pages of backstory, it's a lot to throw at the audience.
Yeah.
So, were there any points in there that that y'all feel that need to be just stuff that you want to get back into, stuff that you'd like to explain more, and for the audience, any questions that you had about backstory or characters that just wasn't very clear to you? Because again, a lot happened in that 15 or so episode
Look,
period.
if we missed anything in that recap, I'm gonna blame myself because I wrote most of it.
You did a fantastic job with it.
Thank you.
If we're going to be zooming in on any particular thing that we need to spend a little more time focusing on, I think it's Petravian getting his nuts kicked.
No, that was in the recap actually, so you're good.
I know, but we just need to suss that out a little bit. That's all.
Especially since we spent 3 episodes on just that one moment. I think you're right. I could have sustained a greater detail, because there was the episode where the kick was, we were leading into it, then the kick happened, and then the aftermath of the kick as you flew into space.
And don't forget about the funeral for Petra's nuts.
We
That
did
choked me
not
up.
mention at all that chisel, that Petra suplexed chisel.
We did
We
last
did
night
mention
though,
Yeah.
during game.
We
I think Detlev gave the eulogy at that funeral.
Do you want to give us a little bit of a recap of it now in Detlef's voice, Beardy? Dearly beloved!
Is that how you start a funeral?
I don't know how a funeral goes. I haven't been to one since I was little, and like have refused to go to any others. I don't know how funerals go.
I don't know if you started with dearly beloved, but I think that might be the
Detlef would.
case, because Detlev just doesn't know better. So
Yeah.
I refuse to go to.
beloved.
I refuse to go to any funeral that does not have a nacho bar. So
Oh my god, can I have a nacho bar at my funeral?
every funeral
Yeah.
needs a nacho bar.
Holy shit.
I want a
Put it
chocolate
in your will.
fountain.
Good. All right.
No, those
well,
get
here's the deal.
unsanitary.
Don't have a
Counting it.
nacho bar at your own funeral. You'll never die. Perfect plan.
10 minutes in and we're already completely sidetracked. I love it.
Good.
Fantastic. This is the energy you all joined us for. Yes.
I mean, I just want a nacho bar, fam.
Yeah,
I literally
Nacho was
go
that
around
way.
to people telling them this. Like, yo, if you die, you better have a fucking nacho bar at your funeral.
I'm not going.
I'm not going.
Yeah. And it better be white queso, not like that garbage yellow junk.
No, it should be both, just in case. Just in case
Just in
people
case
have
you
bad
have-
decisions.
Low class people there.
Yeah.
Come on.
But you know, you raise a good point, Beardy. There were a lot of fun comedic beats in those episodes that we weren't able to cover in the recap. That really you have to listen and experience for yourself. There were a lot of really serious and dramatic beats that we also couldn't really delve into. So the long and short of that is, listen to the episodes when they're released.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if there's points that are worth touching on because they won't have the same emotional impact to talk about them now, but it certainly is there were a lot of big changes that happened that is just like,
Yeah.
oh, yep, that character's not for now.
Mhm.
Just that's how it is. And it definitely stinks to have people go back, but I hope it has the same, like, a lot of these things were exciting for us because they were surprises, and they're obviously not going to be surprises for as much of the viewers, but
I left out a lot of stuff.
that's true.
Because I still wanted people to watch those nonetheless. So the reason I didn't go full in depth on those, I tried to just recap it the best I could. That was stuff we were going to probably be talking about more so than other things. Was because I still wanted the original episodes that will be released eventually to still have watchability, because there are some secret rooms and some maybe betrayals, and who knows? Definitely not me.
There's some good episodes anyway that just worth watching because they're just some of our best ones.
I'm really looking forward to hearing last week's episode again.
Oh my god, that was an amazing episode.
That was a good
Last
episode.
week was incredible. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
You're
So,
welcome.
on last night's episode, do folks have any lingering thoughts on the town of Palayana and on the people that we encountered there, on Bahrain and
I
and so on and so
so.
forth?
Oh, in Bahrain. Okay. Well. No, I'm already at the city, so we'll get there.
Well, Beardy, you had an insight into the naming of Palayana. Did you want to expand on that?
Yeah, so when I name towns in the world, I try to figure out the culture group that makes sense for that society, and then what I'll do, and it's a bit of a weird way to do it, is I'll just get on Google Maps, and I'll get on like the map of the entire world, and I'll scroll to that cultural group's part of the earth, and I'll zoom in, and I'll find like not the big cities, not the medium cities, but I'll find the small towns that exist in those areas, and I'll start scrolling and looking until I find some town names that fall into that cultural group that sound reasonable, that no one will have ever heard of because it's a small town in Turkey or whatever, right? That's usually how I do them.
What is Kodre related to as our like equivalent to real world country?
Kodre is essentially, it is meant to be just like post-conquest Gaul.
Okay.
Like we're talking probably that'd be about 50 BCE. Right around there. So it's conquered Gaul. Now it technically probably a little bit later than that. Huh?
Sorry,
So-
nothing. It wasn't
No,
a
sorry,
joke.
what?
I said
I
the
didn't
gall
hear
of
you.
it all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so ancient France. Put it that way. Ancient
Okay.
France.
Omnia
Um,
Cudria in tres partes divisa est. No, we'll get that. I'm so sorry.
For those who don't know, there's a lot of real world counterparts in a way to Adrian, which is the world that Check Please takes place in, for the most part. And I don't know if you want to get more into that, Beardy,
Oh,
at all.
I would love to. Yeah.
Go for it.
Please.
So, I'll gush about my campaign world forever.
Please do. There's also a wiki if you guys want
There is
to
a wiki.
research some more, but not all the information is on there, so
No,
get it straight
I
from the
need to-
DM's mouth.
Yeah, I need to sit down and actually start writing more articles in there. But basically, Adrian, at least the part of Adrian that you guys are playing in, is all based on historical countries. Ancient and medieval nations at various points, and sort of what the world would look like if they were kind of neighbors.
Mhm.
So the Kodre, specifically where you guys are now, is supposed to be France circa 250 ADE, or sorry, CE. I'll use the right terminology. Yeah, so about 250 CE. So it's conquered by another nation. They're sort of living under the boot heel of an empire, but at the same time, that empire is waning in power. So they're becoming weaker and weaker every year, and the people living there know it, and they can see the changes over time, and they're like, well, it's only a matter of time before these guys are weak enough that they'll just be gone and we'll be our own country again. And they're all kind of planning for that future independence right now. And they're kind of getting their stuff ready. They're sharpening their swords, and they're gathering their forces, because they know that tipping point is in a year now. It'll happen. But then there's other nations as well that are all based off other things.
Yeah, like Villa's.
I'm just gonna try to go around the loot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll try to go around the whole thing clockwise.
I believe in you.
So Burgos, which is meant to be sort of a medieval, or sorry, not a medieval, but an ancient Spain. So probably Spain circa 200 CE. Then beyond that is Parthenay, which is meant to be like a medieval France, probably circa 1100 AD or CE. Sorry, I'm gonna keep getting the years wrong.
Circa, can't wait for season 4 to use my French accent.
Yeah, so it's like 1100s France. Across the channel there is Daraham, which is meant to be the same CE, so 1100 CE England. Further east of that is the Red Plains, which is supposed to be sort of my take on what if, like, sort of Native American sort of First People style culture, to some degree at least. Probably poorly handled.
It's
my
more
part.
like an homage, or
it's more of it's an homage to sort of. I'm definitely not trying to create like an accurate depiction.
We're also not trained in that history at all.
No,
like,
that's not my area. It's not my area of expertise anyway. But I tried to make an homage to sort of more of a tribal grouping society that lives there. And then further to the east is Ville, which is your medieval Germany state. South of that is your Free States, which is sort of more based off of like northeastern Italy, like your Venice, your independent economic city states that had like your very, very early European republics. And then southwest of that, across the channel from them is the Gnome lands, the Steam Isle, and that's sort of more based on like a kind of a capitalist / libertarian utopian sort of society, where everything's based off of capital and money and business. And then further to the west of those guys, you have the Merry Valley, which is kind of your idyllic, almost communal existence that the halflings have. Further to the west of those guys is Vatra, which is meant to be based off of like a Romanian / Transylvanian kind of almost stereotypical horror sort of feel.
Haven't faced any vampires yet.
No vampires
Yet.
Yet. And then south of those guys is Selaway, which is meant to be based off of sort of I don't want to say like probably like a northern Canadian Alaskan First Peoples sort of society, almost, sort of. Again, not quite accurate. I'm not pretending that these are accurate depictions, but kind of like almost like whaler camp style like life.
Is it more like Scandinavian?
A little bit. It's sort of a mix, but the idea is these are.
I mean, it is a
like
fantasy world, so.
Yeah, it's a fantasy world, so we're mixing a lot of stuff together. But it's kind of like almost like hunter societies that live in like these port towns, and they go out whaling for resources. And then to the west of those guys is Moscova, which is based off of like early medieval Russia. And then
the people who sound like me.
Yeah. And then to the west of Moscova is Sejun, which is kind of a take on both a Persian society with a little more Arabian in that than typical. But it's an Arabian/Persian amalgamation society that lives there. And then in the middle of that donut that I just walked around, you have the Iron Mountains, which is a dwarven society that's based off of Scandinavia. So, because every fantasy world has Scottish dwarves.
It's weird.
And I'm like, that's tired. It's not that it's weird, it's tired. It's everyone uses Scottish dwarves. And it's like, no, I want Icelandic dwarves. Give me Scandinavian dwarves.
That's okay. I'm the weirder. I'm the weird one who wants to make the wood elves have Scottish accents, so don't mind me.
And that's great. Give the wood elves Scottish accents.
I kind of you did give me free reign over the wood elves. Really? Because I wanted to give them something unique that no one has ever really done for wood elves. What? Soul's not a wood elf.
Soul's not a wood elf, Skrewy.
Soul is not a wood elf. They are a high elf.
He did it again. I love it.
Those elves live in forests. They must be wood elves.
Yeah. So
you mentioned, Arabian influences in Sejun. Do we also have some kind of Arabian Egypt towards the Shimmering Desert end? Since we have
it's kind of. The Egyptians are extinct. You guys may or may not have picked up on that. I'm not sure.
The whole Mummy Serpentes thing going on. It's fine.
So the race that were the Egyptian counterparts, they're all dead.
Reese's and Pieces.
F in the chat.
They don't. I'll put it this way: it's not that they're all dead; it's that they don't exist anymore, and that's how I'll phrase that.
So Sejun is kind of based on, would be based on their bones if they were all dead, but they don't. They just don't exist anymore.
Yeah, they're not all dead; they just don't exist anymore. If that, you can parse that out. The
distinction is noted.
The distinction is real there. So anyway, so you had the dwarves of the Iron Mountains, Icelandic. Scandinavian style culture and everything. To the east of those guys is the Emerald Forest, which is probably the least interesting that I can think of as far as what it's based off, because it's seriously just like elves. Generic elves. And it's
that's why I'm trying to work on the wood elves, is just like its own thing.
Yeah, so we're trying to come up with some ways to make them a little more interesting, aside from just that the high elves are hoity-toity pompous bastards. And the wood elves are isolationist, racist pricks. So, we can play around with that. But as far as like cultural influences, they have no Earth cultural influence on them. But it's also a work in progress. It's fantasy race, right? And then to the east of those guys, you have the Saracen Mountains, and that is also sort of that's more of a. I think if the gnomes are a capitalist libertarian paradise, or are they a capitalist libertarian dystopia, is the gnome lands?
Yeah, let's be honest.
The Saracen Mountains is more the utopian version of that. So it's like all of that, but works well. Whereas with the gnomes, it's all of that, but it's kind of fucked up in a lot of ways.
You know the Free the Boobies campaign? It's like that all the time up there.
What?
So where did the
Free the Boob? Like,
what was this again?
What?
Okay, so like there's like the concept of like burning bras and not wearing bras because it like brings people down from the man, because it's all about oppression and shit. That it's like a campaign for that. But like they wouldn't care because they bathe openly together and shit, and it's just all a bunch of women. They're pretty.
Sounds. I mean,
are you simping over there?
I'm simping over here.
Sounds pretty nice to me.
Right?
So in terms of that spectrum, where do the free states fit in between those two extremes? Somewhere in the center.
In the middle. Yeah. Like pretty much exactly in the middle. They're more based on like Venice. So that's an early. They have a republic style government. They have democracy, which is rare in the world. So they're kind of a weird standout, because like everybody else is monarchy essentially. The Saracens don't have a monarchy. They actually have what you would consider like a economic conclave as a sense of central authority, but even their central authority is minimal. Like the Saracens don't really have much in the way of an organized government because they don't really need one necessarily. They just kind of have an agreed upon rules of business, and that's it.
Gotcha.
The gnomes have a monarchy that's pretty abysmal.
We met them.
And then what?
We met it.
No, we
it was...
didn't meet the monarch.
Well, we met
his
part
advisor.
of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that was
I
pretty
think
crazy.
you might have seen the king from a distance, and that was
Yeah.
about it. You
Look,
might have saw.
it's a
Did you guys
crazy
see a king
person.
die?
No, we didn't see
We
him.
just saw the
die.
vizier.
Okay.
or
We saw the
whatever.
vizier
Okay.
Yeah.
with the pink hair and the...
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's Nanton. He's fine.
It's fucking weirdo.
He's
He's,
fine.
he's literally holding that fucking country together.
Yeah,
Somehow.
he's the competent one.
I mean,
he's not
is
the
he
one that
anymore,
deserves being
though?
made fun of.
I mean, it's.
Let's
it's
not
a
talk
thing,
about
right?
that.
So what else? What else have we got on the southern continent?
The Zash
Yeah,
Basin?
So yeah, so beyond that, there is a bit more because I just went around the donut you guys have been on. So south of the Saracen Mountains is the Zash Basin, which the Zash Basin was a sort of a religious revival experiment gone awry. It was a guy who wanted to found like a utopian colony away from everybody, away from the Ville. Essentially, they were Villish Protestants. Basically, there were people who wanted to break away from Ville. They went south. They went there and they lived. There was a guy named Zash that did this, and he started to set up this society there in the Zash Basin, in what was eventually called the Zash Basin, and it failed miserably. And a bunch of his people, like after his death, his followers split into two. Half of them said, "Fuck it, we already live here. We're just gonna stay in this place and just live like we normally do." And the other half of the people were like, "Well, we still believe in his teachings, and we want to, do this right. So we're just gonna keep going south." And that ended up starting the Free States. So they're sort of descended in a sort of southerly migration from Ville, both the Zash Basin and the Free States.
And just as a heads up, people in the Zash, fuck.
they're great. Look, the Zash Basin are fun people.
I like those people.
But you gotta be when you live in a shitty swamp. You gotta have humor. So then that's about it for that side. And then if you go further to the east, there's a giant mountain range. And then in the gaps between those mountains, there's walls because the group on the other side of those walls really don't want to deal with you guys.
Yeah.
That's a group called the Kintao, and they are basically a take on ancient to medieval China, that whole range of times. And in there, I've actually have cultural groups within the Kintao, because the reason I call it the Kintao Empire is because there are multiple cultural groups within that area, and that ranges from everything from like Southeast Asia to Mongolia. So you've got all of that stuff in that part of the world. And then there's an ocean or a sea, and on the other side of that sea is an area called Quay, which is based on medieval Japan. Yeah.
Quill.
So you have medieval Japan there. You have medieval China, Southeast Asia, so like a Siam sort of civilization, Mongolian sort of civilization, and that's all there on the other side of this wall that no one's been across. And that's probably more information than you guys have even gotten on this ever before. So there you go.
Yeah, most people.
Most people.
I talk
think
to
I
you
told-
like way too much.
Yeah, I think
I'm
so,
just like, tell me all the history, please.
So that's it for Obador. So
Well, what
then if
about
you go-
Rasfir, Durgaband, and
Durgaband.
Daraham?
Well, we did Daraham.
Did we say Daraham?
We said Daraham, England.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
maybe it just happened so fast I didn't even hear it.
Oh, I forgot.
Cider
about
Vale.
You know what? Yes, you're right. I forgot about Cider Vale, Rasvir, and
Durgabad? Durgaband?
Durgabad. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, the non-human kingdoms.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that are not filled with beautiful harpies.
Don't worry. They can still fly in your dreams, baby.
That's true. So so Cider Vale is a forest that is sort of northeast of Parthenay, north of the Red Plains. It's a Fey stronghold, so it's a Fey kingdom.
Don't trust them.
There's all kinds of
Don't give them
all
your
kinds
name.
of yeah. Don't give them your name because they'll keep it.
Yeah.
Those guys have a pretty solid place in the world. They're not all that powerful, and after a couple of treaties from a long time ago, they kind of are isolationists.
What can you do?
Yeah. So Durgabad is a goblinoid kingdom. So you have goblins, hobgoblins, bugbears that live there, in various tribes that are usually constantly at war with each other. And that's south of the Merry Valley. And then north of the Merry Valley is Rasfir, which is a giant kingdom with a lot of giants that live there, organized under a bunch of warlords. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Did I miss one?
Not on Oberdale. We've got Oxidor with Protus and
Maybe
Kyrgos
we should
there, and-
wait. We can only
Yeah.
say the ones that we know of for Oxidor.
Yeah.
I think we should wait to like fully explain that until we're actually in.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll take
So,
that.
so of ones that you guys have heard of, you know that Golgothia is a place that exists. It's a land bridge that connects the two western and eastern sides of the southern continent. And you know that it's an area that is, you were told it was dangerous, and I'm not sure if it went into detail as to why.
I don't know.
And then beyond that, you know the Protean Empire is over there.
Mhm.
So that's about
And we
all
get
you
That's
know.
to go
it.
there soon.
Yeah, and you'll go there soon. You're on your way, right? So it's yeah, it should be an interesting place. Looking forward to you guys seeing it and giving your feedback.
So we've gone from Palayana all the way to the entirety of Oberdor. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for all of the information.
I can't. I love this shit.
If you heard
Speaking
typing in the background, that's me taking notes for the wiki.
Speaking
Sorry,
of,
go ahead.
speaking of Pollyanna, I didn't go into specifics about that one, but I will. The name for that one, and that one was one that I did a little bit differently. I actually wanted to have one that was based on something that the half-orcs that made that society would value. Because the idea was they were refugees, essentially. They were people that were fleeing east from where they were living, and they were trying to create a place where they could live in safety. So what I did
The story
is
they tell themselves, anyway.
right. We don't know if that's true. It's apocryphal, whatever.
Yeah, that's
But-
a mood.
The town itself, I just went to Google Translate and I typed in some keywords that I felt were applicable or meaningful in a particular way to these people. So I think the town is actually just the Maori word for safe.
Ooh,
Oh.
I like that.
So I think is what it was. I think it was Maori was the language group I chose, and I just put in safe, and it translated out to Pollyanna. And I'm like, yeah, that works.
I'm learning new things about the town that was part of my backstory. I dig it. Yay! And I think, Grem, you had a question about the backstory of Palayana as well in terms of the half-orcs, which I will address in a moment because I've got light bleeding through my windows and it's doing weird things with my
Like
face.
we could have like a horror movie lighting with that. Like it's got that
Yeah.
artsy feel. You just like splash blood on the window now, and it has like that red highlight to it.
Head spins round. So I'm going to fix that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright.
Thought I'll be back and yeah,
See you soon.
talk amongst yourselves. I'll be
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
So I think we'll hold on asking about Kurla's backstory with that real quick until Foaly can come back. I do have a comment. I was very interested because Pollyanna sounded a lot like Soliana, and I was like, I don't know if you're trying to fuck with me, Beardy.
Well, yeah, 'cause
But-
it's like Stoliana and Polyhymnia.
Yeah, like it
Pollyanna,
was
right?
put together, and I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, maybe
I
I'm just-
read it as you saw the name Pollyanna, and like, oh, and just changed the
You're so American. Pollyanna.
Pollyanna.
Oh my
I
God.
went over to Pollyanna.
Let's go over to the
Hey,
Pollyanna
one of
and
these-
go
yeah,
get
one of these days,
Costco.
I am absolutely going to have a character that, oh, wait, an artificer, because there is nothing more
Oh.
terrifying than a redneck with an engineering degree.
I don't think we have artificers in Pathfinder.
We
have
don't have
alchemists?
artificers. We have alchemists, and I think gunslingers. I've said we're not
Yeah.
really.
Yeah,
No,
they're
yeah,
not allowed
no.
in this world.
Oh,
Yeah,
but come
now,
on!
that's
I
a time
want to
frame
shoot
thing.
my gun.
It's a time frame.
I
thing,
will
right?
literally
Like,
kill your character if he is that way.
as
Oh,
time moves
man.
forward, as we go through seasons and seasons of Check Please, the world is going to progress. So eventually, gunslinger will be an applicable class.
Nice.
Maybe.
And we'll get to
Eventually.
40k.
No,
Unless I'm over here like, no gun.
no.
Only
We
destroy.
have people that'll purposely like destroy and take down the tech base to bring us back to
Factor monk.
If there
Yeah.
was
Better
an
than
artificer option, don't you think that's what I'd be playing?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have given you a lot less heartache, Beardy.
Oh, I mean, honestly, I feel like if I had the opportunity to go back to like the beginning of season 1 and
Mhm.
retool stuff, I would have much rather than had Levette be a summoner. I would have much rather made a custom artificer class
Yeah.
for Levette and
Yeah,
just
that's
been like, okay, here's what we're gonna do for that, because summoner is a
Nuts.
great idea, but it is absolutely broken. It
It
is
is
completely
absolutely
flawed.
Well, here's the thing. You've learned that you're allowed as a DM to say no, especially when it comes to the show as well now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Learning
So-
things we did.
This is. I think it's safe to say that this has all grown a bit beyond what a lot of us expected it to be
No.
initially. not.
Oh,
It's
kidding.
not
okay.
enough yet. I want an empire, bitches.
Yeah, we want T-shirts and fan.
I do have.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. All right, if
Just
you
small
want to
technical-
if you want a
Sort of
hoodie,
a
by the way,
technical
like
question.
this, you can
Oh, yeah.
you can visit Illusionary Scribbles.
Yeah. That's...
Person who made my custom Risen hoodie for me.
Had
And-
a technical question
Yeah.
for the stream aspect.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. Okay. So when I see our cameras, obviously, when we're watching in Discord,
Mhm.
beautiful cameras. Go over to stream.
I think it's because it
the-
has to be larger.
Oh,
Like-
so it's essentially blowing up.
It's
the
blowing it
images.
up, so it's not going to be as pretty. So that's why I try to get you guys to have like the nicest cameras possible, because it will still default it. Like even
Or it has
Xeno's,
to
who I'm using
compress
like
and then go.
a Canon Rebel XLR, XL2, like a
Mhm.
really nice camera for Xeno, but it's still
with that
gonna
dead
do.
pixel like right here or something.
Actually, I haven't
Oh,
seen the
no.
dead pixel in
Let me
like
see.
forever.
I don't know where it
Yeah,
is anymore.
put your forehead over it.
I don't know where it is
See if you can
anymore.
Find it.
I don't know. It just like disappeared like a month ago, and I haven't been able to figure it
I
out.
don't think that's how dead pixels
I
work,
don't
though.
know. God works in mysterious ways.
So I mean, it's also compressing from us to you, and then
Yeah.
recompressing it from you to
Yeah, it's
Twitch.
Magic.
it's loops. One day we'll
Which
have
is-
an office where we can just do this live on a couch,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
Foaly will be like on this really nice like armchair, and there's a fire behind them.
Is it going to be like the Chesterfield with the indentations? You know the style of leather. So I like.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Chesterfield.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like
Yeah.
with the little rivets, and it's
Yes, that's the
leather.
one.
Okay.
The leather rivets. Yeah.
My grandpapa
Anyway, I've-
has like a chair like that.
Little
I
open
have-
mini bar. And...
Yeah.
Oh, a mini
I've
bar.
discovered
My,
one of these areas for improvement, and that area is account for the fact that the sun likes to
Exists.
set and come through the windows.
Especially after
Set.
daylight savings time.
It took me
Yeah.
by surprise. It's like 3:40. The sun shouldn't be visible right now. It should
okay.
be up in the sky
Yeah.
still.
It's snowing over here.
Yeah,
so...
it's snowing here.
Wait,
Oh,
what?
shit.
I'm so
It was
sorry.
a blizzard yesterday.
Oh.
We live near a giant lake. Like, of
Yeah,
course
get
it's gonna
fucked, you
snow.
two.
I'm sorry, and also I'm so glad I got out of that hellhole.
Anyway, thank you
Oh,
all for
I
bearing
so
with
prefer
me.
it to
nasty.
Seattle. It's fine.
Yeah. yeah.
Thank you all for bearing with me. Thank you, folks, and thank you, audience. Where did we leave off?
We were. What was I talking about? I was asking about Pollyanna sounding like Soul's name, but I don't think
Ah.
that ever got finished. It was just alluded.
It's like, yep.
Yep,
Yeah, it was-
that
it
was a
was-
thing.
Yeah, it was a happy additional bonus to the
Yeah.
name. Already having a meaning that I wanted it to have anyway.
Look, you're
The
gonna
fact that it was
make
also
me
close
come
enough
after
to your
this
name.
fucking town.
Here's a question:
Yeah,
Who?
you know,
what
'cause I
came
can-
first? Okay, first, the
Ooh,
elves'
I don't.
name, or
It was probably the town's name, to be honest.
so really they should come after you.
And worship me.
Copyright
You're right.
infringement.
Correct.
Too late.
Are
They're already worshiping beetles.
Yeah, they're busy with someone else. I mean, maybe we get Soul
For
can get him back
now.
into polytheism.
I
Back on
think
that
they're
track.
still in
That worked
polytheism.
so well last time.
I think
Any-
we didn't really talk to people that
I,
much.
don't, I got the impression that they were at least being guided back towards worshiping Bug solely.
Worship bug. Speaking of worship, I'm curious. How did Petra's small prayer to Soul help them in any sort of way?
Yeah, Beardy. Did it?
Okay. All right. So I want you to imagine you have a mirror on the wall. It's a
Yeah.
9-foot tall mirror. Okay.
Okay.
And that mirror is
Big-ass
beautiful and it's expensive and it's awesome looking. And then you
Big-ass
take
mirror,
that
man.
mirror and you pull it off the wall and you smash into a million pieces, right? And now you have all these tiny little
Okay.
shards of mirror glass.
Okay.
Okay? And it's all over the floor and you step in it and you start bleeding and it's an awful situation. And you're like, "Oh, this is awful. How am I going to fix this?" And then someone's like, "Here is you take a needle, okay? And you dip that needle into Elmer's glue and then you hand the person that needle and say, 'Fix it.'" That's what you did for Soul.
Oh, now I'd love to know. Okay, my follow-up question is, what's the situation that they need our prayers? Will we
Oh.
eventually see something of there?
Well, I can tell you
Soul's
what
broken.
happened. Glarv broke
Oh,
me.
yes.
Mhm.
Do you remember when
Yeah.
there was a scene where Soul and Glarv were kind of in this like weird other space
Yeah.
where they were looking
Oh,
at
that's-
each other's true
okay.
actual like souls?
Yes. And
Yeah.
he broke you.
He
yeah.
broke me.
It's very avant-garde. I didn't get it, so I assumed it was not
It's
canon.
definitely outside of
Okay.
outside
Okay.
of normal
No,
space
see,
and time.
for me, that puts a more purpose
Mhm.
for why Petra would do this.
They're in
I
constant
was just
pain.
confused.
I mean, but to be fair, did Petra
Petra
have
doesn't.
any reason to think that this would have that those two things have anything to do with each other?
No.
I can
no.
tell you,
He-
Levette
he-
doesn't. Levette has a vague understanding of how gods need followers, but doesn't understand that it causes healing. So she's not gonna
Well,
pursue it from
he
that
knows
angle.
that in his for Petra, when he was told, "I need prayers to heal," the way he heard that
Oh, it was
is
more like worship.
Soul is going to heal others.
No.
So
Of course he did.
so he's going to do what he can so that Soul can help others.
Oh, you sweet summer child.
So
I'm
now-
about to make a fake battle with another godling to fool everyone into thinking there is a treaty, and we are going to rule over them so kindly.
Oh.
And you can find out more when Solo Sessions comes out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
So trusting.
Then we'll
Solo
have 3
sessions.
simultaneously running series set in the world of Agra.
God, I'm doing
well,
so much
so-
work.
The solo sessions aren't technically on Adrian.
Fair point.
Yeah.
But
in the
yeah, I know. I
universe
get
of-
what you mean.
The
Yeah.
Adrian cinematic universe
Mm.
or something.
I was gonna go with multiverse, but I guess
we
that
go.
works.
Taking it back
Cinema.
to Pelayana, Grem, you had a question about Pelayana's sort of backstory. I'm going to throw out more details on the wiki, the stuff that I worked out with Beardy when I was developing Kurla's backstory and so on and so forth, if that works for you. Because I kind of want to move on to talking about the rest of Kudre, because Skrewy, you mentioned earlier how excited you were to get to the big cities. So let's talk about
Is
the
that
big
Marcus
cities.
coming back into view? Do I hear? I feel so much better in a large city.
Well, I do have a question before
Ah.
we head out of
Oh, yes, please.
there regarding Bahrain.
Please,
Beardy,
please.
Yes.
are we able to go into what happened on the other side of when Bahrain talked to Melly, or is that something that might come up later?
Yeah, so he took a hold of Mellifera's Sting after you did the ceremony. So he took Mellifera's Sting to the temple. He did whatever it is he did on that side, and then when he came back, you could tell that he had a very emotional experience and had been crying.
Mm-hmm.
So he definitely had some sort of touching moment with Mellifera, and he was very thankful for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Now, he didn't go into extreme detail about that, but I don't think I need to go into too much more detail about it, other than just he definitely found that to be a moving and powerful experience.
Yeah.
But you can always pry that out of him in the future. I mean, he's an NPC in the world. You know where he lives, so.
So easy to get there.
And you two are so close.
So close.
So close. Probably the closest compared to any other mortal on this plane.
Could be.
Yeah.
Well,
It was very cool to
maybe
meet Baron.
Redubi. What?
Oh, I thought it was really cool to meet Baren and get to see the backstory play out between them and Vera. That's just fascinating to me as a long-time listener of the show before I even joined it.
To see such a cool an actual a paladin of Mellifera, isn't that cool? Just
Skrewy, the look on your face.
I can't see it. I'm sorry.
It's a hurt kind
May
of.
all your bacon burn.
It's either a hurt look or he's taking a dump in his chair.
Yeah, I'm going with the dump.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Oh, you've re-solidified my opinion on that.
Yeah.
I feel reaffirmed there.
It is always fun when you have a character that is as sort of tightly locked away as Vera is, just with their backstory and how they're just not that interested in sharing anything with anybody. And then you bring in a Baron who's like very open about like talking about embarrassing stories of their childhood or like their younger life, and just kind of being that window into this person's past that you've been traveling with for so long, to be like, oh, hey, by the way, here is this time when something happened, and you know, it's a whole thing.
And then you want to get more stories, and they're like, oh, I'll let Vera tell it.
Yeah.
And Xeno, were you comfy with how that played out in terms of keeping details of your backstory close to the vest, but also us all getting a little bit more insight into them as players and as characters?
What was the question?
Well, were you happy with the balance that was struck between new insights into Vera and also keeping some of the stuff close to the vest, not releasing everything?
I would have preferred to have a secret room for the talking to Kurla, but I didn't want to just like go into that day one with already a secret room. So it's like, meh.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
we will all have to make a big effort to keep player knowledge separate from character knowledge.
Yeah.
Oh, I just forget everything that's not said directly in my character, and then it works out.
And I believe one of the things we're trying to do, just as a group, is to do fewer secret rooms in general, if we can possibly avoid them. Just because as a live stream group, it becomes more complicated to do a secret room on a live stream.
I mean, if anything, I'd expect it would just be like an honor code where we'd all take off headphones and if not, just deafen ourselves or something and just wait for a signal where someone's like, all right, good to go. The thing happened. I know this person's crying. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I mean, if you're watching the stream, you mute the stream and y'all go into your secret chat and we're just sitting here going,
just sit there and look cute.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah. Any other thoughts on Baren and Palayana and the stuff with Kurla? Or shall we move on to Kodre and the big cities?
No, I forget. Is Petra actually jealous of Bahran?
The look would say yes. The death glare would say yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, he would be.
Interesting.
He would be?
Interesting indeed.
He's irritated because Petra has Petra doesn't know how long he was with Baren, how long Vera was with Baren.
You were with Baren.
And so he has no frame of reference on their relationship, the length of and intensity of their relationship. He only knows that Vera is so comfortable with Baren to let their guard down so much. and not with Petra. And that's a little bit of that. Okay, that's also me.
Yeah, is that Skrewy also jealous about it?
That is yes.
Oh no,
Yes.
player bleed through. Ugh, disgusting.
Because I will say, like, in the 2 weeks ago, in that episode, you were like super like upset at Vera, like, how dare she?
Yeah.
Have relationships that I don't know about. You're not even her father. Like, let her be.
No.
And if
I thought I was their friend.
And the best part to this is
Not
that
all my
I
friends.
feel like I know the secret to getting into that level of friendship with Vera.
Oh yeah?
But yeah,
And what is that?
it's becoming like really good friends with Mellifera.
Sucking
'cause
on that
Curler
bee
is
dick.
such good friends with Mellifera.
It's about prioritizing that, and then the Vera thing falls in line.
I gotta have a question. Vera actually, in our recap, we talked about how Vera kind of explained to Curla what was happening. Obviously, we're going over this, but why Curla?
Why Curla?
Yeah. Out of everyone who's asked Vera a million times over,
Yeah.
why
I'm kinda
one
wondering that,
question from Curla?
I
Do you-
didn't though.
do-
Really.
That was my turn to feel a little bit of rage.
Do you want to know why?
I mean, I'm curious now.
I mean,
but-
it seemed like right place, right time kind of situation to me, but I'm curious.
Because of the stuff that Vera did, Vera is afraid of losing people that are close to her. So the people that are closer to her, she is not going to tell as much because she's afraid that they'll leave her.
Aww.
Aw,
Yeah. Ain't those
that's,
the
because-
beans?
that's nice. I like that.
so
Like,
because Curler's at that safer distance.
yeah.
Mhm. I think probably the weakest relationship out of the group is between Riz and Vera. Probably.
There's really no relationship between.
There's no
Riz and
relationship
Vera.
there. It's just
It
like
is a
how
business transaction.
we exist together in this group. We don't
And
talk.
yet-
We don't have anything to talk about, really.
Yeah,
And
Riz
that-
insists that Vera's the leader.
Right, but that also I think plays back to the Riz's feelings about Mellifera. Right?
Yeah.
So
True.
that's
Yeah,
right
there's
there is
probably
enough
a lot
wedge
of
to keep the two characters
Under the skin stuff where they're like, well, I guess it's not bad yet, but it's still young, so.
I gotta say, I like the kind of irony of the fact that because there is that distance between them, now Curler knows more about Vera than anyone else
Yeah.
in the group does.
Yep.
And I like that their relationship has evolved to that point as well. I mean, they're certainly not friends, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I would say that there's like a grudging understanding or maybe
Oh, yeah.
respect between them.
Oh, definitely. It's more of that they just don't have the, like, what's even the term? It wouldn't be the feeling of loss that they would be feeling if they lost Curla as to the amount of time and like
Sure.
feeling that they've built up with everyone else.
Is this
No, that makes sense. I mean,
I
they're a
was said
newcomer,
that.
so-
I said that very quietly, and you said it the loudest. Damn it. Anyway.
I just wait for people to stop talking before I win the scene award.
So probably literally the last people Vera would fully tell anything would probably be Petravian and Bahrain.
Aw.
Did the fact that
Now I feel like an asshole.
Vera was
No,
I
I'm
guess the
excited
question
for
is, did
Petravian to
Vera-
figure out stuff.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's also entertaining knowing that now that the thing that formed the bond between Kurla and Vera are they were keeping people out for the same reason in a sense.
Mhm.
Oh, now I'm having light issues.
Yeah,
I don't
go
think
ahead.
I saw these.
Go ahead and fix that after you're done your statement.
well, were they though? Because I mean, Vera was keeping people out to avoid Vera getting hurt.
I mean, I suppose that's true, but it still was both a. I mean, I suppose that's true, but I imagine Vera kind of sees it as a for your own protection kind of thing, just a more emotional protection.
I think
More
yeah,
of a-
there's an aspect of it of both, I guess, to it. Certainly for yeah, I'm not going to speak for Vera, but for
I mean-
Curler, there's an aspect of both.
Yeah, because I mean it's true. Like I would imagine for Kurla, there's an aspect of both of like, oh well, I'm not going to tell you because part. I mean, an aspect of the same thing for Kurla that you were said with Vera of brain not finishing sentences, of not wanting other people to leave, right? Of not telling people the full truth because once you do, then there's not going to be that middle distance. It's just going to be gone.
There was a lot of aspects of that with when Kurla spoke to Riz and first explained things to Riz about it.
Yeah.
But that's in an episode that hasn't been released, so I hope folks will listen to that.
And I forget. This is going into, I think, last week's thing again. But if I recall, wasn't Petravian asking Riz and talking about how Vera was it broken, incomplete? What is?
Yeah,
What's
that
the
was a weird
terminology?
Out of
statement.
balance.
Out
Out
of
of balance.
balance. That was a weird. I didn't even know how to respond to that because Risen doesn't think of Vera as broken, so it was
I don't
very.
think of them as broken. I just
I
feel
think
that
you
they,
used
they're out
that
of balance.
word.
No, it was
though.
out of balance.
It was out of balance?
That
Okay.
was the one that Skrewy used. It was. I'm just interested in.
Yeah, what does that mean to you?
Like, do you think that Vera could be in balance?
Yes. I want for
And do you
Petra wants
think-
them to be at a point where they are happy enough with the hive that they could find other things, not just be solely dependent upon the hive itself, or solely focused on the hive. Have other interests, if you know what I mean.
Rip.
murder?
Murder's good.
Lifting with mellifluous
Yeah.
sting. Just,
I mean,
do you even lift, bro?
Every day.
every day, 40 pounds they walk around with the stick. That's
The stick.
That's what it looks like to most people.
the
I mean,
stick with a
usually you
friggin'
describe it
knife in
as a
It's a
staff.
What
I
is
gotta
a
say, though, I
stick?
am-
What is a staff but a stick
But a
that with
stick.
with delusions of grandeur?
I am really looking forward to last week's episode coming out, though, because that conversation with Vera Xeno was really good fun to play. I just really enjoyed that back and forth, and I hope that you did as well, because that
I
was
did. It was
that was a
really
moment.
good. There's a lot of really, really good parts, and I'm really excited for that one to come out. That's probably my
mhm.
favorite, potentially my favorite episode we've recorded for this season was 2 weeks ago, or last week's.
Yeah, that'll be last week. Yeah.
So look forward to
Um,
that, folks.
Unfortunately, our
I'm-
DM has died.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yes.
I'm curious. Hey, I'm curious as to who and I actually wrote it down because that's important to me. If I get the name right, the Pentris estate is. I need to know.
Yeah,
We will. I think we have
That's a
that
good
actually on
question.
here.
We do,
That
but
we'll
that
go
came
into.
up a little bit later on in the episode, so
Yeah.
Oh,
We're gonna
okay.
try to keep going in the order of what happened in the episode the best we can, because
But we-
otherwise we're gonna be
Gotcha.
jumping around way too
But we will come
much.
back to it.
We will come back to
yes.
it. So how was everyone's reaction of just being able to experience Kodre just a little bit more? My favorite part was the bread.
Well,
I like the
first of all,
smell. The smell was amazing.
I love interacting in cities because it's kind of like think about it in a video game where you're like, oh, I want to find the side quest. I want to see someone getting beaten up so I can break it up or something. Like there's something about like interacting with the life of a city that I absolutely love in like RPGs.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
I was really excited for that reason.
However, this city is also the shittiest looking city. It's just so
Oh.
clustered and it looks horrible.
Aw, it's Gallic.
Bread City.
That's
It's a
just an
Gallic city.
excuse. It's not.
It's a heavily dense city at the top of a hill.
Mhm.
Like it's how they build that.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
It would be
It's
so
too
easy.
dense.
It'd be so easy to burn it
It
down.
would be so easy
Just
to
get
burn it down.
just get Levin in there.
Oh,
Did I say? Did I stutter? I said cast fireball.
Well, they have some kind of water source at the top of the hill because you notice the streams of refuse coming down on the other side of the road. So there's these little. I mean, I don't want to call them like. I guess they're kind of like culverts. They're these little just
Channels.
channels, yeah, on the sides of each of the main streets going down the hills.
They had a Culver's?
rushing water out. So there's some
love
water
Culver's.
source at the top of this hill that's sort of flushing the city all the time.
Delicious.
I think
So essentially, it's just a
Levesque-
constant flow of water.
Yeah.
Huh.
If
like little
Levesque could introduce
streams.
them to the joys of modern indoor plumbing, maybe
Mhm.
that would be a good technology. I think that could take off. They might.
That's what I was
Maybe.
thinking about selling to. What's his face?
Indoor plumbing. It's gonna be big.
Levette, inventor of the crapper,
It's just
or
a fad.
exporter of the crapper.
Well, and then they name it after its creator, so it just becomes the love.
Yep. It's not the loo, it's the
Which
love.
gets shortened to the Lou. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna go and make love.
I mean, you've already made a refrigerator. Why not all the home appliances?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd rather be
Rock music,
named
why
after
not?
the refrigerator if I get a choice.
Air conditioning. I want to see somebody have you.
We
invent
gotta
air
kill some more
conditioning.
giant worms to get more
Yeah,
ice
let's
hearts.
not do that.
we'll go to that fucking horrible island and,
And
just
we'll farm
the
'em.
things.
I
This has
mean-
just gone full RPG.
I'm down for it. I want to investigate that destroyed village a little bit more. But if you want to learn more about that, you should go back to the episodes from the beginning of season 2.
True.
And also, if you want to learn about Levette burning down the steam isle, that was like
Season
towards
1,
the end of
baby.
season 1.
Well, it wasn't Levette that burned down the steam isle.
Yeah, it was.
society.
It was.
It was the
it was
fire
Levette.
started by Levette.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
was
In the
always
secret
burning
room?
since the world was turning.
If
Wait.
it wasn't for it wasn't for Levette's mother rampaging through the city,
No,
they
no.
would have been
No.
able to.
The time before that.
The fire started in the poor district where there is so many houses
Oh,
together.
shit, yeah.
Like right before, and Vera said, "Don't do anything that's gonna bite us in the ass." You're like, "Of course
And-
not."
And let me just throw in some of the bits that make this even worse. So it's they started in the poor part of town, and you have to realize that there is no fire department in the gnome lands. Like the gnomes don't have a fire department. They have a fire service, but you pay for it. It's a paid service. The
Oh my
firemen show up
God.
to your house is burning, and they're like, "All right, give us this much money, we'll put out the fire."
Fucking libertarians.
Yeah, because it's a libertarian dystopia.
Capitalists.
So yeah, so the poor obviously can't afford to put out the fire, so it just gets worse and worse and worse,
Mhm.
and then it's this massive blaze, and their own economic system undercuts everything, so they don't do it. It's
And that's why the
See,
gnome
this
lands
is-
don't exist anymore,
This is
darling.
gonna happen. This is a problem that was gonna happen sooner or
They
later.
died
Yeah.
so long
This
ago.
isn't my fault. This is society's fault.
That
It's
was
the
just
society.
one of the dominoes in this long line. She wasn't
Yeah.
the catalyst.
I was going to say, did you have any sort of any words that you wanted to offer in response? But
Before you
that's
get
your
sent to prison forever.
that's the defense though. So okay, moving right along.
No, they haven't existed for so long. No one knows what exactly happened to the gnome lands. They just burned down one day. It was the strangest thing, but that's all we have for history records.
Thank
And
you,
then the
Yaya.
mimics just rolled right in, and they have never been able to
I'm
recover.
still sad we didn't get to see any mimics, except you got to
You
see
didn't?
mimics.
I did.
So what I think is funny, and let me just put this in, is you think you didn't see any mimics, huh?
That's true.
Ah, touche.
Mm.
We were so sus the entire time of mimics.
Speaking of mimics,
you
how's
should've
Blue?
been. Plu's different. Plu's not a mimic.
Who's
Mimic
not a
slime.
mimic?
If that
Plu's
thing,
mimic adjacent.
if that thing sneaks up on Vera, Vera's gonna yeet that thing.
Disintegration ready at any moment. God, I
I
love
want to
that
cast
wakes
Zone
up,
song.
Shatter on it just to see
Blue-
what happens.
Okay.
It's immune. It's 0 damage. It's just
Blue-
like, you ever like a Jello
Vera
bowl. You
wakes up
shake
with
really
blue.
really hard. That's what it would do.
Oh, you mean Blue? You mean Chisel?
God damn
moving, moving right along.
Yeah, we met a very nice gent that Baren led us to, which was named Dursalos.
Don't trust him.
You don't trust him?
I don't trust anyone.
Well, you know, that's a mood.
Well, I mean, Curler doesn't.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know about you guys, but I honestly wanted to spend more time with him, but
Yeah, he seemed pretty cool.
he was
I
cool.
mean, I do intend to spend more. We'll do that next week.
God,
Yeah,
it is
I mean, you're not
really
done.
hard playing a demi character when my instinct is kiss hand, want to flirt. When my pansexuality is like fighting the character I'm playing, and I'm like, God, I want to flirt so bad.
But I mean, if you like that sort of thing, he is sort of new money, which is a little bit, the nervo riche says.
Yeah,
Look, if I have sugar daddy, I'm not going to complain.
Ugh.
Those jumped up
Hate
little
that word.
merchants with delusions of nobility. They'll buy their titles. Yeah.
I
I just want to say a little bit about Dursalos while we're on the subject of Dursalos. It is very difficult to write an NPC that you guys will trust / like, because you all have so many different like requirements for what you like in an NPC that to make something that you will like universally be like, oh, I like this person is actually quite hard to craft.
I bet.
Yeah, fuck
And
Biff.
I
bet.
wanted
bet.
to point out that one of the things I wanted to make sure to write about him is that he was like rich and successful and wealthy, but he obviously came from a like poor commoner background. So I wanted to, make sure that that was like,
Man, you
So
really
that
gotta
was
finagle these
explicitly thrown in
characters.
so that we wouldn't fucking hate him for being nobility.
exactly.
Literally, Vera would have.
noble because you would, right?
Vera
We
would
would,
have
you're
if
right.
it wasn't for the fact
Yeah.
that Bahrain trusts him.
And then it's like, oh, and I also had to make sure that he mentions that he's like helping to fund the Kojran independence movement, which would also probably endear him to Vera a
Guys,
little bit.
do we have trust issues?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's tiny,
So,
just a
it's just-
tiny
Just a
bit.
tad.
I just want you to know, it's very difficult and tricky to make an NPC that at least one of you will not hate.
Pet.
Like, it's not even that you all like, but one of you
Okay.
will
Okay, hold on.
hate.
Okay, because I was this still meets that qualifier, but I just wanted to let you know to help you feel better. I still don't fully trust him because he's too nice.
Oh, that's fair.
I was like, he's selling me something. I mean, he's literally selling me something, but he's selling me something.
Kinda. I mean,
Beardy,
this is
by
all
your-
the
but by your
expunged
standards, Petra likes everybody for the most part.
I'm not
You
concerned about
always have
Petra.
some-
No one's
Petra's
concerned
not
about
the one
Petra.
that-
So
I'm not
You're not
concerned
the
about Petra.
issue.
you,
There's definitely a tier list, I think.
You're not the problem here, Petra.
You're-
but you said Petra doesn't have trust issues, but doesn't he have trust issues with Vera now?
That's true.
Ooh.
He's a different kind of trust.
No,
issues.
he doesn't have trust issues. He's just pissed. He doesn't.
He's not
just a
pissed,
little
I'm
salty.
Let's be honest, and that's the root of all trust issues, ain't it? You're like, this person wronged me. Fuck you.
Fuck
You know
that
what?
asshole.
Is there
You know
no
what,
one
Beardy?
that...
Thank you.
Oh, no. Go
Xeno,
ahead.
go ahead. I was just going to say thank you, Beardy, for putting all of the time and effort into making those characters that we can then distrust and hate for
Yeah.
no good reason. Just
And then just
Like the
walk-
Proteans.
And lightning
I'm trying to
blades.
think like,
What's
some
wrong
of
with
the
the
characters-
lightning blades?
because like there's been a number of characters I put together that you guys have just like really disliked. Let's see, Detlev, a lot of you hated.
What are you talking about? Detlef is the literal best
We're
character.
split as a
Detlef,
party on
I
Detlef,
feel
let's
like
be honest.
A lot of you guys didn't like Cal. A lot of you guys didn't like.
Cal?
Definitely
Cal's
didn't like
fun.
Biff.
Yeah, on the
Another-
airship.
Calcutic? Oh no, we love
I
Calcutic.
fucking love
Okay.
Calcutic.
Oh,
He's my
okay.
boy.
Shut the
I
fuck up.
Okay, I
I still
have
have the
issue with
fork.
how he makes that ship fly, but I like the character.
There are a lot of questionable ways
Uh,
to make things work in this world. You just
Yeah,
aren't looking for
yeah.
them normally.
Levette's a magical engineer. She's seen worse.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Let's see. So there's Detlev you didn't like. Biff you didn't like. Biff's not my character. Biff's an adapted.
Which
And
makes
he's-
it funnier.
It makes it funnier
uh,
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys don't like
Siva? Not everyone
what?
like. A lot of you guys didn't like Siva.
Oh yeah. Well, I had
I
I
reasons
mean,
at the time.
Steva did
Alec.
kill me.
Almost.
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 Killing
Negative
adjacent.
hit points.
Corona.
It's
Negative
not
hit points.
murder, right,
Oh, yeah, you
Vera?
guys- a lot of you guys didn't like Corona.
Right?
Eden.
Oh, Jesus.
Eden in general, yeah, like the most benevolent force in the universe.
Yeah, fuck that.
not to be
Fuck no.
trusted. Absolutely not to be trusted.
I feel your
Literally
pain.
the quintessence of neutral good.
To be fair, it
There to
just
give
kind of
life
became
to
a
everything.
it just kind of became a
Yeah.
joke to make fun of
Yeah,
Eden because
running
you would
joke.
just be like,
Yeah, because of your rage, it just made it
Like,
so
oh,
much
oh,
more
it's fine.
delectable.
Neutrals, you can't trust them.
Yeah, neutral
Don't
good.
make
How
it
dare they
tell my
sacrifice
wife
themselves
my
for others?
Seriously. That's how you know they've got some nefarious plan.
You guys aren't
That's
gonna
how they
like my
convince you.
character for next season.
We all,
Oh
we all
my
like
God.
Karis right away.
That's true. We
We
all
love-
immediately latched on
Oh,
to
yeah,
Karis.
no.
That is the exception right there. Is that Karis is the only NPC that I put out, and I was like legitimately concerned. I'm like, for this story to work properly, you guys have to like this character. And when I introduced the character, to my absolute delight and amazement, you actually took to that character immediately.
That's
And
my
I think it was because it was like, oh, this is a damsel in distress.
There's a person who
Essentially,
needs
right?
help. Is
Yeah.
what it
Yeah.
is.
Also
Person who is-
broken.
who is
They,
in
they are a
distress,
broken
they need your
individual.
help.
She wasn't broken.
Karis might still be broken.
What?
She was, but I don't know that we knew that at the time.
I would have never called her that unless we're gonna call Soul broken too, and then
Well,
Soul is
yeah.
broken, so
Soul is broken.
If our
Literally.
characters weren't broken, they wouldn't be interesting to play and interesting to listen
Yeah.
to. They're all fucked up and broken and
Exactly.
damaged and traumatized.
I'm not broken.
And that's all, you know, reflections of our own psyche, right? Like, because this is all therapy, essentially, right?
Free therapy.
I don't know what you're talking
You
about.
should still
Oh,
go
no,
see a
no.
doctor, though. Please
Consult
still
a
go.
doctor.
Please go to therapy if you need it,
Yeah.
people.
It's therapeutic, it's not therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
That way.
I'm not licensed.
We are not licensed,
I would like to be a licensed dungeon master.
especially when
That's a
all
whole other
especially when all the people can say is, "Man, that's fucked up."
So we're all a little bit conflicted on whether or not Dersalos was trustworthy. Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, frankly, I don't think he's got a lot of reason not to be. It's just the fact that he's been really nice and he's a merchant that are like, keep an eye on those two things.
What is he trying to
But-
sell you?
Yeah,
Well,
but like,
I mean, he didn't though. I asked him what the
No.
catch was for the money thing, and he was like, "No, I'll just take it." And
Well, yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
"Oh my god!" I was over here like, "You pansexual, just chill, bro. Just chill. Riz would never."
I feel like he's going to try and draw us into his little underground that he's got going on, his
Yeah.
independence movement. I feel like
Yeah.
he's going to pitch that at us. Maybe we won't, get involved, but I feel like the
But-
option might be on the table.
it could be
or
fun.
even it could even just be kind of an implicit element of this travel, right? It's like, oh hey, we'll ferry you guys across this land bridge, and you'll bodyguard everybody by being there and not wanting to die.
That, or it'll be like, oh, by the way, can you maybe make contact with this person when you're
Yeah,
in Protus
or
and deliver
something
this
like that.
message, or have a package, Don't look in the package, just deliver it. It's not a problem. If you hear someone kicking from inside the chest, just ignore it and deliver the chest, and it's fine.
I would love for an NPC to say, "Don't look in the package," and then hand it to Petra.
Please don't.
Unwrapping it.
That's great.
Just like going,
Please don't.
You know, there was one thing I was gonna ask Dersalos, but I don't know where to place it in time, and it's a little tangential. I don't think I said that word right. For Risen, but they are getting to a point where they need to look for something, and I don't know when the right place is it gonna be, but I'm a little stuck on it. So I think I'm looking forward to it. It involves the horse, so I think I alluded
boy.
to it slightly during the episode,
Are you
but
looking for a breeder?
right.
yeah, I am.
Hmm.
Well, not exactly a breeder, but at least like a mare for the horse.
Mhm.
That's
Huh.
going to be an interesting episode.
It's a weird
for those
conversation.
roleplay.
But it's just a thing that Riz has done, and it's like your time's coming up to where you're not going to be able to carry this Fardo anymore.
Oh.
Time to go to that nice farm in upstate Obrador where it'll have the chance to run around all day and play with the other horses.
It goes
Oh
in
no, they
space.
don't. They don't just.
And then they go
You know what?
make
I'll leave that
bookbinding.
one.
Yeah, let's let that one stew.
We'll let that stew.
A horse
Just
stew?
like the horse.
Mm.
Delicious.
Oh, man. Well, speaking
I'm-
of delicious
that's-
things,
Yeah.
the bar scene
Drugs.
and the delicious beverages and substances on offer in
Drugs.
that scene.
Hardcore drugs.
I am interested in
Drugs.
seeing
Sounds fun.
more of the drug trade in this campaign,
Yeah.
just because it's interesting.
I'm surprised no one asked for Prinium. I expected if Prinium
That
is a
doesn't know about it.
specific drug. I feel like if Kurla was there, Foaly would have just been like, I'm just gonna see if it's here.
I was gonna ask for it, but I knew Levette doesn't know about it, so she asked the dude what he's got, and he was like, "I got black lotus or whatever, lotus extract," and she's
Yeah.
like, "Well, that sounds like dangerous, actually dangerous. So I don't think I want that one."
I would
Excited.
have
Well, I mean, I'm excited for Hummel to come out because
Hummel's already out of the
Patrick would totally-
closet.
Yeah. We'll
Hey.
put his
At
little
the
hat
cabinet.
on, and he can order all of our drugs. Levette will totally take Hummel on her shoulder, and
Patrick
Hummel can
will
talk.
totally
Push up the
talk
muse.
up to them.
I would have been really tempted to
Does-
ask for Brennium, but I would have had to do a knowledge roll to know if Kurla had even encountered it before. Plus, just as a player, I wouldn't have thought it would be available in that part of the world because Prenium is really hard to transport
That's true.
and only grows way the hell out west on the coast of Oxidor. And if you want to learn more about Prenium, you should visit the Wiki.
That's true. Drugs. We have like a drug page. Isn't that
Wait,
fucking
when did
weird?
That's
when did
fun.
Prinium show up?
I don't know, like half a year ago when me and Beardy talked about it, and then I was
In
like,
universe, it hasn't showed up.
Fully,
Oh,
put
it
this
It's
on the
not been in
wiki.
game.
okay, that's what I was gonna say. It's like I don't know.
No, it's not been mentioned in the game before.
'Cause last time when I was making Hummel, I remember asking about the drugs in the campaign, and you're like, "There is Muse."
I just didn't have a whole lot like pre-made stuff, but I want there to be like a hardcore, like opium sort of analog, like some sort of heroin style. Then of course you want some sort of upper, like a cocaine derivative, and then like we have an LSD derivative already. That's your Muse, and then. I think the lotus extract is kind of my take on heroin, so we'll see how that goes.
This will be
Yeah.
great.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for
Fine,
buying that.
This.
I, I think
Hummel.
Muse is like
I'm-
a safer LSD. LSD?
Yeah, and then
I do
like,
the drugs.
Yeah, we all do the drugs.
We
right?
all do
LSD
the
is
drugs.
safe.
So this is mostly coming from a person who's never really had any drug experience trying to write drugs in a
Yeah,
fantasy world.
we're
and doing
really
a very
good at
poor
this.
job of it.
That happens.
But Prenium is actually has a real life counterpart already, which is Silphium, which is a chemical that the ancient Romans really fucking loved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It was a sex
especially
drug.
with that word.
Yeah.
I'm going to shamelessly link to that page on the wiki.
please
'cause I
do.
really
Hell
quite
yeah.
like it.
It's a good article.
But
But yeah,
meanwhile,
Silphium was an actual drug that existed in the ancient world that is now extinct in modern day. You can't get it anymore because the plant that it was derived from is gone.
Wow.
But it's a drug that was documented at the time to make people fucking horny, make sex feel amazing, and also make you infertile for a short time. So
And
The
they ruined
perfect
it.
drug.
it was
Yeah.
a perfect drug, and they literally used it out.
I
But
mean,
it still
can you
exists
blame
in our
them?
world.
Can you
I
blame
can't
them?
blame them, I'll be
So
honest.
much fucking.
Like they should
Yeah.
have like preserved it better and been like year by year, like, all right, this is our stock. We gotta
Well,
replant.
the problem with Silphium in real life is that it was considered uncultivatable.
No, that's true.
There were like people who were experts at plants at the time who could not get this stuff to grow anywhere outside of the wild. Like they just could not cultivate it, and they didn't know how. Now, people today believe that that's probably because it had a very specific nitrogen requirement that the people at the time didn't know how to properly like do.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is like if you gave me a time machine and said, Beardy, you have a time machine, you can go back to any point in time, I would go back to the north coast of Africa in like 100 BCE, and I would grab a handful of Silphium seed pods, and I'd come back to now, and I'd hand them to like someone who has a hydroponics lab, and I'd say, make me
Grow
$1 trillion.
this.
Like, make me $1 trillion of sex drugs out of this, please. Like,
But then you'd be fucking exhausted all the time.
I
He'd
mean,
be rich.
Why would Beardy be using them that much? Like he's selling them.
He can do both. It'd be fucking,
Yeah, he can do both.
Billions of
But
dollars off
Then
that
you
shit.
get people to do it for you, and you just get the money in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Beardy CEO of the future.
Mhm,
And
but it's
then
just-
population plummets.
yeah, there's
and
huge
everybody's
population
happier.
drop.
Oh,
And they'd be
no.
happier for it.
Yeah.
It would literally solve so many problems.
Yeah.
More food, less
Yeah.
unexpected births.
Yeah.
People who
People
wanted
would
kids, like could
Yeah,
adopt
but you would
for one thing,
also,
or just
you know,
actually
people
have
who
sex.
wanted to have recreational sex would be able to have.
It
that
doesn't make
easier.
people infertile permanently, Skrewy.
No, it's very short.
No,
very
no.
short term.
Okay.
It's like 24 hours.
Yeah.
I'm just saying people are gonna enjoy it so much that if it removes that,
Mm-hmm.
what do you call it, that
Are-
that potential.
We have enough people in the world.
Oh yeah, we have. No. It's not that we have enough. We have too many.
Yeah. But,
True.
So
but the point is, it would be really like that. That's something I would really wish that could have somehow found its way. Like, I have this crazy wish that someday, someone will open up an old, like preserved Roman amphora someday.
Like a Coptic jar.
Well, kind of. An amphora would have been like a wax sealed masonry jar, basically, that they use
well,
to
they held
transport
wine in
goods.
generally.
Yeah, they would transport wine and a lot of other products in. And like one of these days, I'm hoping that someone somewhere opens up a sealed amphora and it's full of silphium seed pods, because like that would change the entire world if that stuff was able to come back in the modern day.
And be accessible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are drugs that are out in the modern day that could change the world if people get their hands on them.
Like insulin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it costs. Well, it costs like what, $2 to make?
It's
damn.
less than that. It's like $1.40.
We're getting
A vial.
topical up in here.
Yeah, we should get away from politics.
So anyway,
So let's talk about corruption in the Protean military.
Woo!
Oh, before we go
Petra,
there, I just want to once again say thank you for buying heroin for Hummel.
Yeah, you got it.
I am
This will be
excited
fun.
for Vare to deal with that.
Do have the advantage of this magical world in which the healing can take care of any negative effects from
Mm-hmm.
those. Well, presumably. Correct me if I'm wrong,
Presumably.
Beardy. Oh dear. Are there healing resistant drugs out there in this world?
Are there healing resistant
find
people?
I mean, there are certain things that you've already encountered that magic doesn't do well against. Like, do you
True.
remember that plague that killed everyone in Holbrook?
Yeah.
That wizard was just a dick. He could have totally fixed it, but he's like, "Hey, I like to fuck around with some."
Yeah.
I want to play
slimes,
God.
so-"
Yeah, that's
Oh
it.
wait, no. I want to play God.
Yeah, that was it.
Old
He
man
only has
voice.
a hammer. Everything looks like it needs to be killed and replaced with a slime.
Yep.
The Protean military. Petra, I know that you had some feelings about those less than honourable troopers that we encountered.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So why didn't you kick the shit out of them?
Mhm.
Because Petra's trying not to just jump in and cause problems. Believe it or not,
I
he doesn't want. He doesn't want to. He's not. His goal is not to create problems.
What?
He may cause problems in his attempt to fix things, but there was nothing to fix at that point.
Mhm.
Had they overstepped, had they tried to if they did something unsavory to Moira, he would have stepped in. Had they done something unsavory, unconsenting unsavory to one of the employees of that bar, he would have stepped in. But they were not acting outside of the bounds of what was acceptable in that establishment. And he didn't, and yeah, you're not going to step up on somebody when they're just being an asshole and pushing people out of the way. It's like they're just fucking assholes. If they were to cause incredible, if they were to like almost, if somebody didn't get out of the way quick enough and they arrested them for it, oh, I think Petra would have stepped in at that point and then caused problems.
So, Beardy, were they spec'd out for combat? Would we have been able to take them?
Oh wait, would you been able to take them?
Oh, we would have wiped the
Easy.
floor with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're basic
just
Protean
dudes.
soldiers. Like these guys are not. These guys are not on the tier of adventurers.
Also-
they're decent. Like they're good soldiers compared to like basic soldier stats. They're very good soldiers, but they're not heroes.
So they've taken 2 hits to kill instead of 1.
3 maybe, but yeah.
Archie just starts smacking them.
Yeah.
Oh, Archie hitting them. No, maybe
No.
like 2 then.
Just push them down.
Maybe 3 hits from Petra, 2 hits from Archie. Somewhere in there. I mean,
One
that's most monsters you
disintegration
guys fight.
spell.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, one disintegrate would be more than enough to wipe one of these guys out.
I imagine a chain lightning would be enough to wipe
That's
multiple dudes
true.
out.
But chain lightning probably couldn't drop them.
Oh, okay.
Chain lightning
Okay,
averages
that's about what I thought.
Chain lightning fully
about
boosted.
45. It's like 45, 50 damage somewhere. in there
Usually, yeah,
Yeah.
that's usually
Yeah,
how much
they-
I roll.
They'd have survived one of
Oh,
those.
okay.
One.
Yeah.
Kenny,
So-
remind me, have you got to use Disintegrate yet in main game? I know you've used it in our little
Battle Royale.
free-for-all
I
battle
used it
royale.
on a slime when we were at the slime village.
That's right.
Right.
I remember that.
I think I used it twice.
Mhm.
And I think I used it once while we were in the set temple.
The water.
If I remember correctly, in that battle in Holbrook, in the slime cave underneath the wizard's tower,
Mm-hmm.
that enormous slime that came up out of that pit, you hit that with a disintegrate, right?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save my ass.
Yeah. You did a
I didn't
shitload of
hit
damage.
you.
No. I was really scared. I was like, man, this is not wow.
I had to use all my points to make sure not to hit you. So that's a rough one where I'm like,
Creepy guy.
but
Well, speaking of Riz,
yeah.
we had some interesting revelations in this episode about
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I know that you don't because you keep forgetting every time I try to explain it to you, Riz.
I don't forget things.
No, you don't forget about Thess and them not having a symbol on your cart or anything. You're a Vardo.
Nope. No, I remember everything.
But
Except
as-
for,
as a-
before I started forgetting
As a
shit.
player, how are you feeling about that? Because that's kind of we've been delving into all sorts of backstories lately, and now we're getting to Riz, and the plot is thickening. The thick is plotting. How are you feeling
So-
about that?
Something that Beardy asked me very early on when I was making Riz, because I was explaining how every element of them was polytheistic, because I was like, this is a challenging thing to do. I, want to make sure this is right enough without having enough information on the wiki about each god. So there's a lot of times where after games I'll ask Beardy, like, hey, I think I want to focus on this god next. Like, what is this, and this for it? I like staying true to Beardy's story as possible while still adding lib to what the character would naturally say. And when going over the Vardo with how I love you too, with how I was designing it, and I explained that it would have all the symbols on there, and he said, well, what if it was missing one symbol? Would you be upset with that? And I kind of hemmed and hawed, and I was like, well, do I know? And he said, no, you don't know that it's not there. You are completely in the thought process that you have everything. And I went, okay. I didn't mind. That didn't change my character in any way, because they believe that they worship all gods, and they still kind of do, I guess. And they did try to contact Thess, because Thess's symbol was on the monument in the Slime Kingdom. That was the only reason I was able to pick that one. And I was very particular with asking, because eventually I found out it was Thess through Beardy, because I was like, I have all these, I need to know which one I would forget, obviously, as a player. So I was able to use that and immediately forget that I had tried to contact Thess and all of that jazz. So the hint that Thess was involved in some way happened a long time ago. It just, the characters around didn't fully understand what was happening, I don't think. So that I was actually able to pull the information out by going over the gods on the Vardo was a very fun thing for me, because the first check that the party actually made when they saw the Vardo was to see if Thess's symbol was there, and no one passed that check. And it was so rough on me. I just was like, one day! 25 episodes later!
The rest of us aren't Bible nerds. We don't know about
And it's
gods.
Slow burn.
finally happened in
Yeah.
this most recent episode. So now it's at least known to one other person in the party that is the state of affairs. So
Yeah,
No,
I'm
like,
what do
actually
you
pretty
think
curious
that'll-
about that.
Curtis
What do
just
you think
knows
that'll
about
do?
all of the backstory stuff.
Yeah,
now.
Kurla's this season's Levette, getting all the
Yeah,
backstory
apparently.
info.
I think it would be really. I mean, if Curl decides to share that info at any point, I think it'd be very interesting to have this sort of this mystery going on, where Riz can't solve this on their own, and the rest of us will have to like do a lot of it for them, and we're gonna have to like keep an eye on this stuff for them, and I think that will be really cool.
So what do you all think what do you think that this means? Like, first of all, what do you think? What is your theories as it stands, given all the information you have?
I assume that just the fact of the matter that Riz is able to basically change fate is a kind of abomination against this.
Maybe.
That's my
I think that came
Go ahead,
after. I mean, I have a more concrete theory than I normally do, but I feel like Riz might have been one of those immortals that was mentioned, and that I think that they did something to change fate. My guess is, just because it would be good storytelling, that for some sort of benevolent reason, at least on the face of it, to save someone's life or something that was destined to die or something of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And then doing so, Thess was like, well, that's not how this works, so you're out.
To build off of that, Riz saves someone who was, as you said, supposed to die, but in
I mean,
their
that's an example. It could be-
yeah, but I mean, I was gonna go. I was gonna go exactly with that.
Oh, really?
In that, because they saved them, a whole branch has been shifted. They were such a They were like one of those kind of fixed points that it has to happen,
I mean,
and they changed it, and a whole bunch of other stuff changed. Butterfly effect. So they said the Thess was like, "You done fucked up. Get out."
based on what the dude said about Thess, I'm pretty sure, and just kind of how causality works, I think all points are those points. That's literally all it is. You don't change things, or you get a different result. And yeah. So if Thess is all about monitoring the current set of results, and someone changes that, it makes her job at least makes her job harder.
literally infinitely harder.
Yeah, literally infinitely harder. Yes.
I've made so many timelines by existing.
The sacred timeline.
I will be curious to see how this aspect of Riz's backstory, with having earned Thess's ire somehow, ties in with it wasn't intentional actually, but thank you. How it ties in with the curse aspect, because
There's
it
a
doesn't
lot of
seem...
curses on Riz.
Right, and it doesn't seem like that would have been Thess's work. So whatever Riz did, my intuition or my guess is that the curses are going to be coming from other agency, but the overall situation, was something that offended Thess. So I don't think Thess. I think Thess is part of the situation, but I don't think that.
Is it she sent agents to do it or something like that, or that she is an agent?
I'm sorry.
Are you saying that there's a chain below Thess that's involved, or a chain above, or am I just...
I'm not saying either. I'm saying that Thess is involved as one part of this, but that there are other players involved.
Players. The wind thing doesn't really add up so far. So
Yeah, I have no idea.
What do you guys think about the wind thing?
Well, the thing was, I'm like, why would Eden be mad at me? And I'm like, what do I need to buy the wind? And I'm like, then I get this beautiful warm breeze on my face after I leave the library, which usually only means positives. And I'm like, what the fuck? What do you want from me, people?
I don't think it has to do with Eden.
I'm a simple, humble servant who loves my family.
I'm very curious to know what the reaction will be at the temple. I'm hoping I
Yeah,
can
we're
just
about to
walk
poke
the-
a fucking bear.
I'm hoping that I can
Yep.
just walk the two kind of support characters into combat without the rest of the party, because I know that's a no-no. Like,
I
splitting the
mean-
party for,
Yeah.
for RP stuff is fine.
Maybe you
Splitting
can
the
use
party
that
for
Triton then.
That's okay.
combat is a bad idea. I know that.
That's
Try
okay.
it.
Vera has some bad ideas for next session too. So
Oh boy.
You gonna
Okay, I'm excited for that. We'll get there.
because right now Vera is currently in the jury portion of. I wonder if Theranis needs to die.
And you know what? Petra would follow you on that. Oddly
I
enough,
Oh.
don't
Petra
think Lovette
would-
would, but I, as a player, want to. I want more fucking hijinks.
Just randomly killing high-ranking NPCs in.
Well,
cities
it
that we
sounds
just-
fun.
I mean, it'd be
It sounds
horrible
like a
for the
fun
region.
challenge.
I feel like it
We've
would
got an
undermine
enemies list.
literally everything.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Oh, see,
I guess.
no, Petra is Petra really wants to stick it to the Protean Empire. On the inside, he's still a little bit bitter about sort of things, and it would
and
be
just
like a
killing random officers is gonna make.
no,
him feel
no, no,
better.
no, 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 no,
Governor.
no, not random.
Hey, Beardy, what do you want to say?
Yeah.
just thought about that. So just to keep in mind, the Codrons are like, yeah, this is a thing that's gonna happen some years from now. Like we're getting ready.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
the Proteans are getting weaker every year. We can see that eventually we'll be free. They're not like, hey, let's rise up today, because then it would be a bloodbath. So, maybe offing a Protean governor would have a bad effect right now on the whole region.
The politics. Oh man.
Yeah, there might be like a crackdown, and then terrible things could happen. So just keep that in mind, I guess.
I
just
see. Okay,
don't,
I can
and
see
just
where
see what
it could
happens, I
go
guess.
horribly sideways because if we kill if we kill off somebody important, then the Proteans are like, whoa, we gotta go establish our superiority and bring in the whole army and cause problems there. But then the army won't be in Protus, and then we can. do what we need to
They've
do.
got. That's the army. The Protean army will show up.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
So, how do folks feel about finally selling that damn painting? Just
Fine.
on a completely different.
We had
Topic
so much more.
entirely.
I'm kind of like, okay, I'm a little suspicious at how much the fact that that Riz doubled the price and then he upsold us. It's like, what's going on?
Does that mean it's more expensive than it
Sus.
should be?
But I also was like, well, 5,000 gold is a number that is a lot more easily divisible by the number of players in this campaign.
So is 500,000 or 50,000.
I
or
mean,
5
that's-
million.
I mean,
That-
we also
those are
have
true.
calculators, so
We should have held out for more.
Maybe.
Tier.
I mean, we.
I mean,
held
Riz
out
takes,
for
like,
so long.
A silver for most jobs anyway, so it's like whatever, gold, happy.
I mean, that's not in need of more cash, and like,
Oh yeah, I gotta buy the wind.
yeah. I mean, I mean, we just do need to buy a windmill. That shouldn't be too hard.
You found a book how to build one, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't remember what I was saying. Well, I guess it's not
But
that
yeah,
important.
definitely, I was like, yeah, I wonder if this is supposed to be worth more now.
Oh yeah, with the thing, yeah. That.
Yeah.
I
well,
thought that too, but I was
yeah,
like,
you
know what? 5,000 is 5,000.
We'll
Easy
never
split.
know now.
Is that why it was
You know what?
changed? Was
You
it just to
appraised
make it
at
easy?
1,500.
Yeah.
What's that?
Was it changed to 5,000 just to make it easy to split? Or
No,
Okay.
no. I just
Oh.
wanted him to give you guys a larger amount of money than what was appraised for, because, again, it's supposed to be like.
I see. I mean, I felt that too. I was just like, whoa, this is likable, and then there's throwing on another $2,000 for the fuck of it. But I mean, I was certainly not upset about taking the money, and like people when we're like, oh, it could be more. It's like I'm not here to trade stocks. Like fucking just sell the damn thing. It's out of our inventory. We
It's
have
true.
like 32 kopecks I noticed while we were selling that also need to be sold.
Well, yeah. Got a lot of
Mhm,
kopeshes
mhm.
to sell.
Or kopeshes, yeah.
The painting shall be split in 5, and each shall receive death. I'll keep the painting.
Death.
I stole that from the
Cake or
Simpsons.
death?
Cake or death? Oh, lovely. So shall we move on, because we're getting finished up in the city. We've sold the painting.
Yeah.
We've made contact with the underground, so to speak.
Mhm.
We bought our drugs. So it's almost time to head to the Isthmus of Golgothia and to Protus. What do we
But
feel
we
like
found
we
out
should
who
expect?
Petrus was.
That's next. We'll discuss that next, Skrewy. I left that towards
But we're
the
not
end.
leaving yet.
Fine. You know
I'm
what?
excited. I am
Let's talk
excited to see what the bridge is going to be like.
I
And
am.
we know we've been told what it's going to be. What we've been told, but I'm also curious to see what critters and nasty, not niceness would be in.
You okay, Foaly?
Might be in there.
I'm great.
I am very excited to have everything fall apart in Protus and just be in a pickle the entire time. It's gonna be good because I'm gonna get to beat up a bunch of Proteans.
We haven't
I'm all
set fire
for
to a
it.
single city yet, so I mean,
I'm disappointed.
I'm hoping that we get arrested here or the Kintao. I don't know which.
Oh, I'd rather
Why
get
not
arrested.
both?
Why not both?
Why not
Por qué
both?
no los dos, guys?
I'm excited to get arrested in Protus.
Oh, I can't wait to drop you guys into Proto and just have you all just be like, oh, fuck. It'll be great.
I'm excited. I really
Yeah.
am.
I am very curious to see how they respond to a half-orc, given the border between the jungle of Koth and Prota, and
Yeah.
the fact that
I mean-
full-blooded green orcs down there.
I can tell you a bit about what I think they would immediately feel about your character.
Death to the mutant.
I'd really rather
No.
find out, I think, in-game,
No,
if that's cool.
yeah, you
I
can
mean,
wait, that's
I'm
fine.
excited, certainly, to
Mhm.
learn, but also at the same time, I want to be genuinely surprised,
Yeah.
if that's cool.
Oh yeah. I want to meet my brother. I hope they're nice.
I really
You
hope
sure?
he's nice for your sake.
Yeah.
I hope that you meet your brother, and I hope that you two are just fast friends.
I don't think.
I
he's
hope that
your
he's a
Like
huge
this.
dick.
Oh
Sorry. I'm sorry, Skrewy, I really am, but I kind of hope that your brother is an awful, awful person, just because... No, I'm going somewhere nice with this, just because of the absence of Petra in his life, and Petra, being this sweet, lovely person, will help fix this brother, will make him a nicer person.
I hope I don't have to kill them.
My
Oh, wouldn't that be
family
great,
literally
though?
owns slaves, so I think it'd be great if your Petra was an evil dick. Then you can be like, this is my real family now. That's what I went through.
Yeah. Yep. I'd like that. I would like that catharsis. That would be nice.
Stabbing him?
Oh, Petravian
No,
can't
that's
stab
re-
anyone. He has a hammer.
There's a hammer.
It
Yeah,
won't be
it won't
with
be
a
with a knife.
Actually, he can try and stab them with it. Why isn't this working?
Why isn't this working?
I mean, it does have a
Just
pointy
smushing
end
it.
now, since he got the
That's
Warhammer,
true.
technically, but I don't think Warhammers are stated that way. So anyways. It's more like a giant croquet mallet.
Just as
Tenderizer.
Who's cooking dinner tonight? Ah, Petra.
You're getting paste.
We have invented hamburgers.
I love it.
Pate.
I haven't seen Chisel lately. What sort of burger is this? Oh, it's elk.
No
So
one's seen chisels.
They're fine. Heel, slice. Heel, slice. You're
Jesus, that's
fine,
like moo
slice.
levels of psychotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Curler has just become a vegetarian. Thank you for that.
So
It's probably in their best interest.
I know we passed over it, but it was a really quick moment, and I just kind of wanted to say it. During Curla's little flashback while talking to their parent, they went to the graveyard, and they felt like something was watching them. It was a really high perception check, if I remember correctly.
The
Mhm.
40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, you felt the hair stand up on the back of your neck.
Or was it a will
When you
save?
were
I can't remember.
Standing there over the grave marker.
I can't remember if that was a high perception check on my
can't
part or
remember.
not.
I thought it was.
Would I have?
It was not. It was. It was high, but it wasn't high enough.
It wasn't high enough to get a better sense of what was happening
Okay.
in that moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there was definitely something there that was different.
What if it was because
No.
we had the battle standard with us?
I had a feeling. My theory was that it was that which Hungers was watching Kurla, because they were visiting their sister, where it all started, kind of thing.
I'm hoping, considering that we've got Kurla's link to that town and Vera's link to that town, and just the general canonicity now of Calyptra's involvement, and just all of the potential plot and character hooks, I'm hoping that we can make it back to that town, especially since we haven't been Giast from ever returning, which is helpful.
And it's also conveniently located adjacent to a lithogate.
Mm-hmm.
So
That is honestly super convenient.
maybe on the way back, we can swing by again, and I can try and contact my dead sister's spirit.
Or
I feel-
resurrect them?
Yeah, I mean, we could just dig up the body and we could resurrect it.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Oh?
Ooh, why not?
I mean, the Kurla has a thing, about life and death, and no matter how guilty that they feel, they're not going to start meddling in
Or
those
is it
affairs.
because there's nothing left?
Remember when we cut off Moyer's arm and had it with us as we traveled around the
That
world?
was a good time.
Yeah. It's a good thing Kurla wasn't with the team then.
Good time.
Still rising.
Just
It's like, well, Kurla would have been like, right, so do I regenerate the rest of them from the arm, or do I regenerate the arm on the pearl? God. Ugh.
it's
In the
really
anyway.
fucked up.
starfish situation, and yeah, now you have two sisters.
I
But
mean,
thank you for mentioning that, Kenny. That was just a nice, that whole scene. Thank you for bearing with me for that scene as well, everyone.
It's
I-
not
was
bearing with.
wonderful.
It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun.
excuse me.
Even Skrewy's dog liked it. It was that moving.
Yeah.
Everyone just got scared.
It was scary.
That's scary.
I don't know if I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that was my favorite part of the whole session, honestly, and I wasn't even in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where I will not be in a scene and I'm just like for episode 11 that will be coming up eventually. One of my favorite things is Petravian and Hummel's date, and I was like, stop coming back to me. I just want to listen to the date, bro.
Shipping so hard. Been shipping Pummel since before it was
Pummel. I want another Pummel date.
Oh, man.
Oh, I
Oh
wanna
my
do a
God.
Pummel date in what do you call it? In Proteus.
Oh
In
my
Proteus.
god.
Petra wants to get pummeled.
Yeah. Look, whatever you do on your dates is your business, man. I'm not gonna judge you for it.
Just don't do it in the Vardo, because Riz doesn't want to know about it.
Well, that makes it funnier, so.
So,
Feels like it.
shall we, Skrewy, now talk about the Pentris Estates?
Yes, I finally got a high enough check. Now, mind you, I have a natural. I get normally a +5 to nobility. The fact that I got the extra +5 from going into the library, finally, I'm able to get something that I can go on. And I'm just catharsis.
So theories? What are your thoughts?
No fucking clue. There's nothing to it.
Yeah, there's
just-
not really much to go off of yet, except what we know for certain. We know
No,
that it's
ain't
a
it-
noble family. We know where they're located.
Well,
We don't
I
really
gave,
know anything else.
I gave Beardy the thing again, so hopefully we'll be able to sprinkle in a little bit
Yeah.
next session.
Okay.
Now that you have a name, you can try to find that name,
What?
and that will hopefully lead you to more information.
But I will say that did stick out to me as it was a lot further west than I was expecting.
Yes, that the noble name was in
yeah.
that far west.
Yeah, I thought that
Ain't that
Vera's
interesting?
stuff wasn't going to be this far west.
Yeah, I didn't
So
expect it in the
how-
library at all.
That too.
Yeah, and what does that mean for who Vera is? Where is their lineage? Who did they piss off that that noble would be? I mean, they piss off everybody,
Yeah,
but
I was gonna say. Do
um,
you want to get a list?
Your obsession log doesn't cover that?
I mean, there's a few
Uh,
pages for it. Yeah.
and how widespread that noble family that they pissed off enough was all the way out here. How important are they? All that kind of
Apparently
stuff.
not important enough that were able to find them elsewhere. So it's not like they're a world famous family.
Right. So
I'm excited.
So, mini tangent that you mentioned it. I definitely like to think that Leva has a page in her obsession log that is just people Vera has pissed off /O's. Or just people Vera has pissed off against /pissed off. And just like, don't ever talk to these people again.
Oh, can't go there anymore.
I just love that all of the sort of the plot hooks going forward are threads that we absolutely should not pull on. You know, bears that we absolutely should not poke, and yet we're doing it. We're going to Protus and looking for this brother. We're delving into stuff that Vera doesn't want delved into, and
My shit's all unraveled. I'll pull on all the threads I fucking want.
And we're literally at the threshold of a temple of a very powerful deity that does not has some issue with one of our party members. This is going to end next week. Next session is going to be
great.
It's going to be fantastic.
A lot. I don't think that it's that hostile.
I don't know if that elderly guy is going to be.
Yeah, that's who.
Thing. I mean,
I think that if we're talking our old person versus their old person, our old person's got him beat.
Yeah, I don't think that their old person's all that decent at combat. I think he's mostly there to be kind of an information resource.
So I can stab him? Excellent.
The conversation gets a little bit heated, and Riz is just like, how about disintegrate?
Well...
Oh, that'll really win Thess back. Yeah, I'm just going to disintegrate one of your high priests.
I do use his symbol in that spell, so...
Interesting.
I usually switch between him and Abudai.
Interesting. Just all the dimensions of exactly how the curse works and the weird relationship.
I have a really weird relationship with all of the gods.
I dig it though. I want to learn more. I've been excited to learn more about Riz's backstory since the beginning.
It's been a mystery for everyone to unravel. It just depends on who wants to poke the bear.
I kind of enjoy the fact that I'm in that position. I'm like, yay, I get to find out stuff.
I would love to know what was the presence that was kind of irked that I tried to cure Riz's curses.
Probably the same thing that yelled at me. Was like, the wind! With a giant finger tornado.
Yeah, who was that?
And in terms of sharing what's going on with the rest of the party, Grem, you kind of mentioned that. My position is, as a character, they're unlikely to sort of start discussing it with the rest of the party without Riz's consent, which obviously is difficult since Riz doesn't have a clear idea of what's going on. So unless it becomes kind of a clear and present threat to Riz, they're going to be holding off on that. Now, as a player, that's a problem because obviously y'all need to be in the loop if we're going to move forward on this particular quest. So I have to figure out a way of balancing that. I'm not quite there yet, but I've got a week to figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm so
maybe
excited
more
for next week.
Also, we have not really talked about the whatever the thing was that sent the lost souls at the beginning of the campaign.
Yeah, we haven't had any contact with the thing or the thing that's been giving anyone nightmares.
Is that related to anything else?
What is going on with all that stuff, right?
Yeah, we haven't had
Who
that.
knows? What is that?
Yeah.
Was it the light? Part of me wants to, my conspiratorial brain. What if it was the lightning blades in the tavern?
I love Skrewy series!
Oh, in the tavern, yeah. That crossed my mind.
And
the dudes who are
they
racist
show up
against
again.
us?
They show up again up in the fort. I swear to God, if we see them one more time in some random ass place, for one time, that's nothing. It's 2 times, it's a coincidence.
Reoccurring
3
NPCs
times.
exist, Skrewy.
Yes, but not in the middle of fucking
Is
nowhere.
this why you don't like Corona?
I swear, if I see Moira one more fucking time.
I mean, I would be willing to believe that the racist dudes at the beginning were actually them, but I'm also willing to believe at this point that they were not, because they seemed a lot more chill than those dudes were.
Well, I assume that's... Oh, sorry, continue.
But, even if there's shit going on and we run into them a lot for reasons beyond coincidence, I don't really feel like they have. I don't think that whatever entity sent those lost souls and is infecting our dreams also shit talk us in a bar. Like, I think that they probably are above that.
I'm like 98% sure that the lightning blades were those people in the bar, but they're not the same because it was retcon basically. So they're not actually the same thing. Because they would be more racist when we met them otherwise. I feel like. I don't know.
Xeno
Maybe they had a. Maybe they.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Xeno got it in one. Yes, they were retconned.
I mean,
I have to remember, where are the other guys? They're not there.
Now,
How about
were
that?
Were they at that point also designed to be able to beat the party, Beardy, or was that an aspect that came in with the retcon for their reappearance?
No, they were designed initially to sort of be God's punishment against you guys for your hubris.
Ooh. Now, are you joking when you say that, or
No, not at all.
which god's punishment then?
The DM.
Beardy is the god.
The DM's
Damn.
punishment.
Well,
for
they're
your
my
hubris.
favorites, by the way.
I
I'm
was
just,
really
it's always
hoping
good
it was
to have
actually
something up your
literally a specific deity. Damn.
No, it's always good to have something up your sleeve to kill the party if you ever need to.
In case they go too far.
Yeah. So, as a release valve, you can just end them and change the story a bit.
Awesome.
So-
Thanks.
I can
Guys,
imagine.
you're gonna love the backup character I have for this season.
Oh no, I just imagine Beardy doing that, and then the next stream is just Beardy, and the whole screen is just Beardy playing all the lightning blades by himself.
What if
That's
what
how it's
if
supposed to go.
what if we're reassigned
Yes.
and we have to play a lightning blade character and we have to
Yeah.
become these NPCs?
I want
That'd
to
be
be
a
Jiro.
great April Fool's Day episode.
I was gonna say
You're
who
never
gets to
gonna
be
talk
Jiro?
then,
I want to
Grem.
be Jiro.
You're
Yeah,
never-
Jiro's
I'm
so
okay
fucking
with
strong.
that.
Okay.
Oh my god. Jiro ended up becoming way stronger than I even intended him to be.
I could tell.
He's ridiculous.
I want to be
I-
the
Oh my God.
ranger. I want to be the ranger.
Oh, dude, the Ranger's a fucking killer.
Yeah,
machine,
he's a
too. Holy
machine.
shit.
I
The
wanna be
machine.
The bizarre, weird, Dumble, Dirkle.
Dunkelmeyer.
Dunkelmeyer!
Yeah.
Jingle
Oh,
bell.
he's got some crazy powers too. He's got a lot of meta magic. He's a real scary son of a
He
bitch.
could hit things one for one with a lot of spells that I already had, and I was like, this little bitch. Except I did. He didn't waste all of his to make sure that soldiers didn't die.
Yeah.
Damn that whole morality ethics thing. So, on a closing note, unless anyone else had anything they wanted to do, but on the topic of recurring NPCs that we may or may not want to kill or might end up killing us, how about that fucking librarian again?
I was
God
so
damn it.
excited! Yeah!
Again, what are you talking
Hi,
about?
everybody.
It was
I've
a
never met that person.
librarian. Yeah, we met someone new
Yeah.
every time.
I desperately want to know what the backstory
The
is.
real-
Gotcha.
The
Thanks,
next
fella.
time, okay, Emmy or Foaly, the next time you meet them, do the thing that you wanted to do.
I'm not
I'm
going to do it.
excited.
and
I
I'm the
want to
only
see
one in
what
the
you're gonna
library.
use that spell for in general.
I am excited for this greatly. Please
I don't
cast
know.
that spell next time.
I'm not going to do that without the rest of the party there to back me up, and maybe the
Oh.
lightning
Oh, no,
blades
no,
too.
I
don't think he's
That's-
gonna do
that's
anything to
poking
you.
a bear.
Archie was right outside.
I was
Yeah.
I was there.
Archie could have helped.
All I know is that Detlef has some weird illusion magic going, and
Does he?
yeah,
He just seems like an awful kind, just librarian here to help us out from time to time. Nothing
Yeah.
else suspicious whatsoever.
The real question
I
is,
like-
why was he not the original librarian of the one that the Telic boy was at? That's my question. He came in
He
later.
was having
Also
he was on sabbatical.
Beardy has also mentioned, I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Beardy, but you've mentioned something to the effect of there's a reason that certain information can't be found in libraries in Adrian, or that there's a reason that on certain topics the libraries and the librarians are particularly unhelpful. Am I remembering
Correct.
that correctly?
You are remember that correctly.
And
It's almost like certain information is being suppressed on purpose.
And Detlev is a part of that, maybe, or Detlev could be a separate thing. Who
know.
knows?
Or maybe
He
Detlef
seems to
is the
be in
savior.
multiple places at once. That's kind of
We
weird.
all
How
need it.
funny would it be if they just didn't know the barrier was down? They're still doing that.
I don't want to get myself I'm like Curler. I'm enjoying playing them. I've got more stuff I want to do with them. I don't want to die unmasking a fucking librarian that turns out to be some sort of eldritch being, okay?
Or a Scooby-Doo villain.
That would be... Oh shit, now I have a theory about Detlef. Fuck.
Uh-oh.
No, I gotta work on that one some more. I gotta
Gotta use
consult
those
the
eye
wiki.
drops.
No, I don't want to die.
I just want to see what you're going to use. Like, I want to see what happens if you use it on the horse, or on me, or Detlef. I want to see
Now
all
that-
of the
yeah.
things.
That
Oh,
is
the
coming.
horse.
Looking
That's
at the
gonna be
horse and
fun,
looking
too.
at Riz with that,
Yeah.
that is absolutely going to happen. I'm not quite sure when.
When do you break to your friend that they're an eldritch being? Like a how-to book.
It's like,
I'm very
Riz,
curious to...
did you always have tentacles?
I will be curious to see if Curler perceives them in the
Okay.
same way that the kids do. Sol and Marculus. I want to know if Curler will perceive them that way, or if Curler is going to have a completely different perception of them. So we will find out at some point when, again, I can minimize the risk of Curler dying, and maybe when I've got a second character ready to go.
Yeah, the children definitely did not like the look of Riz.
No.
And Corona definitely didn't like the look of the horse. So, well,
No, he was very
I can't
chill
chill
about the
about it.
horse.
he
He
was
was-
very chill about it, but was also like kind of like playing along, like, oh, it's definitely a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My fear is that so when the next Petra takes Muse or any other drugs, I'm going to for certain things I'm going to let the dice make the decision because he is not in full control of his faculties and certain bad decisions could be made. And we're gonna let
Alright.
the dice decide
I'd
that.
say, like, bring a little dice for yourself just on the table. I call it the do I want to make bad decisions day roll.
Yes.
And I'll just kind of, like, roll. If I'm thinking about doing something bad, I'll do a roll. And if it's above a number, I won't do it. If it's below a number, I'll do the stupid thing.
Do you have that purple die in front of you?
I do have the purple die in front of
Can
me.
you roll that for me, please?
Sure. 2. I can do stupid today.
We didn't do stupid today.
But let's see.
Congratulations.
Damn.
And then it's a 3.
I think that
14.
die would have saved me a
Two.
lot of pain.
20.
So here's a for example,
There it is.
while on Muse, will Petra touch the horse?
I love this dice.
Oh my
That's
god.
an 11.
Probably.
That's an
Yes,
11.
please.
So
Yeah.
that's
let's
an
do
11.
that.
So
I'd
No,
say
no.
roll it when you're about to do something stupid in a game.
Yeah, when you're about to do something
Okay.
stupid, I would
Yeah.
I would just say you just make it a 10 or higher. Is
Yeah.
no.
they do the thing.
Just half and half.
And have your
Well,
next
that's-
character
Yeah.
ready to go.
Oh yeah. Well, I say 10 or higher, but because it's not half and half. But
Say 55.
I think having a slightly better chance of not doing the stupid thing is probably a wise way to roll the die.
I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah,
up
no,
to
I'd
the-
have it like
it's
at
up to
a
the
12
player.
or
It is.
yeah. That's the thing. For Petra, if he knows it would be a bad thing, it would be a higher. It would have to be higher to make it
Higher.
I mean,
Yeah, he can choose higher or lower. It's his
Yeah,
dice.
yeah,
a lower
I'm
percent.
just not
It-
sure if I'm following. I'm like,
Lower
in,
percent.
essentially, if
the more the consequences are, the more likely you are to do it. That doesn't. That
no,
checks
the other
out.
way around.
Don't
the
get me
other way
wrong.
around.
That checks out with your past behavior.
I do
Other
find
way
it-
around.
I do find it very, very interesting that Riz is so particular about no one touching their horse. You know, that being a bad decision that Betravian
Yeah.
might decide to go for.
They kind of
But Riz is
alluded
so-
to it too. A
They're
little.
so particular about that, but they're not entirely clear on why. It's a gut feeling that I
Yeah.
think is also tied up with the curse and with Thess and with all of that. I find that interesting that that's a
Here's the
compulsion more than a conscious decision.
Listen, I just say we kill the horse before it kills us.
Thank you very
Bold
much.
statement. I like
Great
it.
idea. I love it.
Oh my
The
god.
horse is the thing. The moment
Yeah,
you touch
that
the
thing
horse,
that's been sending the specters after you guys.
And then that's how you win
Bad
That's
D&D.
been
dreams.
expanding to Deadlands. That gave you all the bad dreams.
Are y'all ready to win D&D?
Yeah.
I'm ready to win
Yeah,
D&D.
again.
Have
gotta
the
kill
bad
that horse.
dreams coincided with times at which we've been away from the horse? This we may actually
Gotta
have
kill
to think
that
about.
horse.
You're getting there. You're getting there, everybody. I'm proud of you.
On that note, does anyone have anything else they want to talk about or points they want to make?
I'm so ready for next week!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I want to potentially beat people up. I think it'd be fun. We'll see what goes on.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, then all that's really left to say is to thank you all for being here,
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
and also the audience too.
Yeah, if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask us. We can answer them right now. I'm going to hold that off as like a couple of seconds while I just shamelessly plug the wiki. If you have any questions about any of the stuff that we mentioned today and you might want more details, we have the wiki and our links below on our Twitch along with our YouTube as well. Thanks, Ima. And so you're welcome to explore that to your heart's content. We also have it editable if you've noticed a detail that we've had in past episodes that you want to put on the wiki. We have that too. We also have Foaly being our lore masters, so they review everything that happens as well, so that we make sure that no one's just putting fuck. I mean, I
Unless
might,
it's me.
unless, well,
I mean, that is correct.
I don't even know if that's okay. Why are we such a good group of people? We're not.
Nah.
Sorry, the ghost is
Yeah, the
appearing
ghost
again.
is attacking.
Sorry. The ghost just like opened and
me.
closed a door. I'm fucking terrified.
I'm a I
Because
well,
we're all
I'm a
deeply
mostly good
depressed.
person.
Yeah. Fuck.
Because we channel all of our negativity into our D&D characters, so we're good people. Big
That we mesh well. We mesh well.
We do.
I'm really good at
Yeah.
playing bad, not good characters
It's
in
true.
D&D.
I'm always confused. I'm like, why are you so mean in D&D? But also it's very funny because you have like this best humor level that just outmatches everything I could possibly say. It's great. Thank you for being the funny person.
Ah!
Thank you all. It's been really fun.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. If folks in the audience enjoy what they've seen so far from both the recorded episodes and now from live streaming, spread the word. Tell
Yeah.
your friends
Please.
that you like what we do,
Yeah.
because part of the reason we like what we do is the fact that there are people who are also enjoying what we do and, getting into it.
Yeah,
Coming
we
and
want
listening to us talking about it and asking questions.
we want to share this more and be able to include people new and old to tabletop RPGs, and we want to share our story with everyone, most importantly. And this is a planned thing. As I stated early on in the stream, that I have planned for so many things for this show to go to eventually. So there's only going up for us, in my opinion. And we hope to share this journey with you guys for very, very many years to come. So, until then, we hope that you all roll with us again sometime. On Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Central, we will be airing Snake Eyes episode 12. After that day, it will be going on hiatus so we can finish up the rest of the Check Please episodes that have been unreleased per the streaming schedule. So we will be releasing those on Wednesdays when they are getting finished edited. Until then, we'll see you all next time, and we love you very much. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.